The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Get your home ready for winter. Schedule your furnace tune-up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and save $30. Visit standardheating.com to book and lock in your savings.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93
And there you go. There you friggin' go. Welcome to the start of what I hope is a glorious work week for every damn last one of you. Welcome to the damn Monday edition of the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Josh, what did I miss over the weekend? The reason I have to ask is because I spent my entire weekend in the dingy, dusty, musty basement of my mother's home.
Were you helping the family clean it out, or what was happening?
Right. Yeah, it's just a project.
She didn't lock you down there because you did something naughty.
Just something that needs to be chipped away at now and again. And I know what some of you are saying, hey, I live in my mother's basement, and it's not bad. I'm glad you like it. But I think I have black lung.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
I wonder
like an old coal miner, Cubby.
I wonder about that, too. As you know, I grew up in a dank Minneapolis basement, and I sometimes wonder how much radon I breathed in every night. How many bugs did I eat in the middle of the night?
Ooh, a lot.
How much lead paint we had lead paint on the windows.
Mercury.
Yeah, we had asbestos everywhere. I'm a dead man.
How messy of a basement are we talking, Nick?
You've never seen anything like it in your lifetime.
Is she a bit of a hoarder? Oh, really?
Dana, you've never seen anything like it in your lifetime. I'm not talking about going downstairs and, this place needs to be vacuumed. I'm talking you've never seen anything like it in your... So I don't feel well. It's very dark and dungeon-like down there. Let me give you even a clearer idea if I haven't already. Josh, remember that kid who got drunk and then his friends buried him alive?
Yeah. My favorite part is the look on his face.
Yes.
Well, first he's covered in dirt, and the look like, what the hell, man?
Come on, guys, we're just trying to party.
That's not a joke. This is mean.
Is there any way we can find the picture of the kid who was buried alive a number of years ago? And the story was this is the story that we got. He was at some kind of a concert festival with his bros. He gets annihilated like all of us do when we go to concert festivals with our bros. And the next morning, authorities were digging him out of the ground. Someone buried this kid alive. This is a true story. I don't remember how he was found, but authorities dug him out of a shallow grave. And that's exactly where I was going for it, Josh. That's exactly where I was going with this story about working in my mother's basement. The picture of the kid right after he was dug up, totally confused, exhausted, and filthy. That's what I looked like when I was finally done working in the basement of my mother's home. If we can find that picture, I'd love to push that up to the top of our website again and allow folks to enjoy that. Maybe even put a link to the story. I know it was a few years ago, but it is one of my all-time favorite stories, and the picture is what puts the icing on the cake.
You know, now I'm picturing you, a little cute blonde girl named Jessica. Remember baby Jessica in 1987?
Oh,
she fell into her aunt's well.
It's a long time ago.
In Midland,
Yes.
Texas.
Yes, I do remember.
That was one of those, like the OJ case. They talk about things where everybody's glued in. That rescue of that little girl, that was another one. I remember that very well.
When she came out the well, you're picturing that's kind of what I look like?
That's what you look like.
I mean,
adorable, confused.
filthy.
Maybe a little violated almost.
Someone holler at me. Let me know if we can find that story of the buried kid and if...
Wasn't it like a sacrifice? They had to sacrifice him or something?
That doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, I don't remember that part.
You could be right.
Maybe.
It was a few years ago. Just holler at me if you find it and if we can throw it up on the web. So anyway, that was my weekend in an old, unfinished, beyond cluttered, dirty basement. How do you feel, Josh, about beetles the size of a monkey fist?
Oh, not a fan.
I don't even think the Beatles were... I don't think that they were... what's the word that someone might say? Like native to this area. You know what I mean?
They just heard how gross it was. And
Yeah.
thought, we got to go there.
There's no way these beetles really live anywhere other than my mother's basement. I don't think they're native to the area. How do you feel about spiders and spider webs that have gone undisturbed for the last, 20 years or so?
Again, not a fan.
Dude.
Massive spiders.
You'd be proud of me. My wife was. I killed a bug by myself over the weekend.
Was it by accident? Did you just step on it?
No, she wasn't around, and I thought, well, I got to take this thing out. It's either me or him. We got to do it.
Oh, is that why you were calling me? You wanted me to come over to help?
How fast can you get here from Minneapolis?
I'm proud of you
Thank you.
for taking that step.
Those giant ants?
Sure.
You know what I'm talking about? Like
Oh,
the
yeah,
huge
yeah, yeah.
ants?
Yeah, yeah.
It was a super tiny one, just
Oh.
a speck. You could barely even see it. But I couldn't live in the
There's the
same
big
house with
giant
that.
ones.
Oh, you've
But-
seen those
but-
big giant, like some of them fly. You know what I'm talking about?
But that's not what you were dealing with. You were dealing with one of them little tiny ones.
Basically microscopic.
Plus, I was on edge. I mean, other than the filth, straight up filth that I was dealing with, I was also on edge because, I'm going through old boxes of this and that, rearranging this and that, getting things out of the way, making it so you can walk down there, and also, just kind of cleaning in general. I also was on edge the entire time because I feared that I was going to run into a box of porn or something.
Oh, yeah?
But that didn't happen.
Yet.
Yeah, I would worry about something like that too, actually. I remember when we kind of cleaned out my dad's stuff when he passed. And I thought, well, I doubt I'm going to find anything, but what if I do? Because I think that's almost worse. If you have a parent where you're like, we're probably going to find something, you're prepared. Like, for example, I hope she's not listening, but when we clean out my mother-in-law's place, I bet there's a treasure trove of stuff that no son-in-law should ever see.
Oh, no.
But I'm prepared because I bet it's there.
We're pretty tight, right, you and me?
Of course.
Can I
tight as
have your
ever.
mother-in-law's porn? When she's gone, can I have her porn?
Yeah, I wonder what she's into. I don't know what she'd be into, but I bet there's, oh God, I bet there's toys. I bet there's all kinds, like stuff from like the 60s and 70s.
Oh.
While she's alive, do you think she'd mind if I went over to her place and maybe she sold me some of her porn?
She'd just gift it to you.
Yeah, I hear what you mean. I mean, it's a lot easier to take if you expect it.
Yeah. Or, even if you're just mildly suspicious, like, I doubt it, but maybe. But in this, that's kind of where I'm at.
That is part of, what I was doing at my mama house over the weekend. As you guys know, my old man passed coming up on a year ago, and there's still some things to go through. So I went through a lot of his stuff. I haven't found any porn yet. He was a good man. He's just an honest man.
Didn't you say he had Playboys when you were a
When we
teenager?
were kids, yeah. He had Playboys and Penthouse. It was usually...
Oh, even Penthouse, huh?
It was usually his buddies that had the really foul stuff. I could count on bumping into a Playboy or a Penthouse once in a while when I was a kid, but it was his buddies. I mean, my God. One of his best pals' fish houses, I think it was the original Highway 10 bookstore. You know what I mean? It was just, there were, is that still the thing? Does Highway 10 still have that porn shop?
I've heard it's not there.
Okay.
I've heard mixed.
So.
But you guys,
I used to drive by that quite a bit. I used to hang out at a motorcycle shop out there.
There was one buddy of my dad's who, if he's going to crappie fish for 4 hours, he'd bring 65 hardcore pornography magazines with him. And my brother and I just could not wait to go ice fishing. Can we go to Donnie's Fish House? Yeah, we'll go to Donnie's. Because we'd go to oh my God, Hustler, every damn, what is this, all girls? I'm sitting there, I'm 8. I shouldn't have been looking at this stuff.
Nah.
I remember finding in my uncle, he lived with, a lot of my uncles lived with their parents far too late in life, And so one of them, one of my dad's brothers, I went up to his room and there were stacks and stacks of Playboy magazine. I'm going to say probably, 2.5 to 3 feet high, and then there was maybe 4 or 5 rows of it.
Playboy, he's a classy guy.
Yeah, he's classy. And I couldn't believe in my grandma's house, like one of the most religious people I'd ever met. She would faint if she heard a bad word, and I'm not exaggerating. I mean, she would, she couldn't handle something like that.
Imagine if she would have gotten a look at all that pubic hair.
I know. Oh, man. Look at Miss November, Mike. It's like a pop-up book.
So you didn't expect that from that uncle?
Oh, not at all. Well, especially in that house.
You think that was how do I say this? You think that was a symptom? You think maybe that was a symptom of living with his mother for a little too long?
Maybe that was part of it. That could have been part of it.
He's not going out on dates, but he's got his stack of Playboys.
I've never seen that many in one place.
Can't bring a girl back to the house. Mom's a religious freak, right? Couldn't bring women back to the house, I'm imagining. So those were his girlfriends.
And he's got he's 8 siblings. There's people all over the place. Well, at that time they'd all moved out, but him. But you must have been. By you, I mean he must have been collecting those forever to have that many. Either that or he just went out on a shopping spree and bought every single one he could find.
That was your uncle?
Yeah, my uncle.
Oh, God, the Playboy, my Playboy magazine story. I think you do. And I know a lot of you can relate to this. Me and a pack of high school buddies. And we still have a collection of dudes who will, go out of town once or twice a year just to get out of town. When we were young guys, this is probably we're into our 20s now. We'd all take a couple trips a year. One trip up to my dad's fishing shack. One trip, my dad's fishing shack was up near International Falls. This other fishing trip we would make to Ely. And part of the trip was stopping in Cloquet at the gas station. I think it's still there. Oh, God. Bowling alley. There was a bowling alley next door for many years, just in case any of these things are still there. But there was this gas station in Cloquet we'd always stop at on the way up north because it had insane hardcore pornography. And when you got 6, 7 guys fishing for 5, 6 days together, long car rides, that's what we thought we needed to keep ourselves entertained. And I think we made the right moves. It did help. It did help kill the boredom to have these horrific porn mags. So, and every year, a different guy was in charge of going into the gas station and buying the porn. It was kind of like, hey, it's your turn to buy beer. For us, it was your turn to go buy the dirty magazine. And one year, and we were, like I said, we were pretty programmed to get the foulest of the foul, right? One year, it turns out it's this one pal of mine's turn. And, okay, we said, get on in there, get the porn. We got a ways to go yet. He comes out with Playboys.
Weak.
And we said, what do you think you're dealing with, a bunch of novices? Playboy?
It's like a guy coming out with non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah. We were just shocked. I mean, we've been doing this for years. How do you not know what we like? And the dude was totally confused. You think you know a guy, Cubby.
I had trouble handling
we were so disappointed.
Well, you guys were experts.
Yeah, we were.
I remember the first time I saw Hustler magazine, I almost died.
You probably almost vomited.
Oh, dude, I couldn't handle anything more than Playboy. Some of that stuff I thought, do they train gynecologists with this? Why do we need that glimpse? Why is that so close? Why is that spread so far?
Wasn't it Randy Moss that you guys got over in Mankato because of porn?
Yes. We were broadcasting from training camp, one of the only couple times the Vikings let us do that. And we're sitting there in our van. We tried to get Randy Moss as he bikes by. One day, wasn't interested. The second day, we were lucky enough, a listener dropped off like I don't know, what did you say? Like a huge box full of porn and some really weird stuff, too.
Really kind of outdated German.
Yeah, it was like foreign stuff.
Oh, they do it differently in Germany.
It was a lot of hair and a lot of, go ahead.
A lot of ages. I mean, it was weird.
Grandmothers.
Yeah, a lot of grandmas. So we see him the next day on his bike, and we're like, hey, Randy, we got porn this time. And he basically did an endo, and he turned around and got in there. And so we were able to talk to him. We did an interview with him, but he was paging through the porn the entire interview, like looking straight down.
Every day he blew by us like we were nobodies, and then when we wagged filthy German porn in his face. Josh isn't kidding. I can still hear the squeak of his bicycle brakes. Came right into our little broadcast van and gave us a terrible interview.
He was interested in the porn. I mean, at least he talked to us, sort of.
So, yeah, all weekend long I was down in the in the dungeon trying to straighten things out. So what did I miss? Anything fun?
Well, the Vikings played a game yesterday.
Didn't see it. I was out of
They
town.
were in London.
Yeah.
They won.
Pardon me?
They won.
They won the ball game.
They sure
okay.
did. We
Pretty
got
cool.
Van Ginkel. He had another. I know. Like I usually say an interception for a touchdown, but you like to say pick six.
That's the way I like to do it.
Yeah, he got one of those.
Yeah. All right.
It looked at one point like Aaron Rodgers' knee exploded and it ended up in Wales instead of London.
He was very contorted.
Oh, and he was screaming
Yeah.
in pain. I felt bad for the guy, but he came back.
Oh, that's too bad. This was this was at 8:30 in the morning, Nightmare.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I missed it. All right, well, we'll talk to Brad Ryder and Randy Shaver about that a little later. That had you pumped, huh?
Big Gopher football game, too, on
Oh,
Saturday.
yeah. That was fun.
That
With
was
an awesome
great.
interception.
Pretty cool.
I was able to see a little bit of that. Golden Gophers getting a win. All right.
You missed the Zoo Halloween Spooktacular. Went there Friday night. That was a lot of fun.
Tell me
I've
about
done that before. That's fun.
I saw that too late after it was already sold out. I was bummed out.
Tell me all
Sells out
about it.
quick. We went
The
to
Minnesota Zoo?
Minnesota Zoo.
Copy.
They have all kinds of pumpkins and Halloween decorations. It's even better than the last time I went. So that's a lot of fun. They put on a good show there.
The zoo. One more time with the title.
Well, I thought it was called the Spooktacular, but maybe it's just spectacular.
Pumpkins.
Yeah.
Sad animals dressed as the Haktua girl.
No, they didn't have any. No animals.
Llama dresses.
Didn't they force any of the animals to wear costumes?
No, not at all.
Well, what the hell?
There was one.
That's the fun of Halloween, right? Making your cat and your dog just miserable by pasting a costume to them that they want nothing to do with. Why can't we do that with otters and zebras?
Maybe they were on strike. I don't know. The animals weren't involved.
Well, you had a good time.
Yeah, it was fun.
When you go to the zoo, you usually get pretty wasted, right?
Oh, well,
have to.
beforehand, we tailgate.
Before you get
Yeah.
there. Yeah. Oh, my God.
One for me, two for the monkey. Two for me, one for the monkey.
Pumpkins.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. That's fun. It's a good family event. It was packed.
You're packed and you're stacked, especially in the back.
Buddy of mine got pretty wasted there, though.
At the zoo?
Yeah.
You love to see it.
Oh, yeah, he was hammered.
You went with a bro friend and he got drunk at the zoo.
Yeah. And we tried to prank his wife. It was a dangerous game, right? Remember when we were talking about backup plans, where back in the day, if a relationship ended, when you're a younger person, a lot of times you have someone that you could call and they'd be interested in making something happen, right?
Maybe even 3-4 people.
Right, you might have a couple.
Right. All
And
right.
so we had this conversation, and he was saying kind of the same as me, that he's been married, I think, a little longer than I have, and there's nobody he could think of. But he wanted to bring up this conversation at the zoo, right, with me, and he wanted me to throw out a name to kind of mess with his wife. And the bit was going to be, he says, yeah, I can't really think of anybody. And I say, well, what about so-and-so? You talk about her a lot.
Sure.
And it was to mess with her because he knows that would irk her a little bit.
Yeah.
And I kept saying, like, are you sure you want to do this? Because once it's out there, that's going to be tough to take back. What if she doesn't believe we're setting her up?
Right.
So my wife was not a fan. I told her, hey, this is going to happen.
She didn't want to play the game.
She thought it was a bad idea. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a bad idea. I'm like, you know what? He knows his wife better than me. She's got a great sense of humor. Did she use me as a human shield last year at Onion Head's Revenge? Yes, she did. She did. So I missed most of it. But so we try and set it up, right? We try a few times, and it just didn't work. She wasn't biting. She didn't want to have any conversation about it, nothing. So he was very disappointed. But luckily, he had a good time because he was incredibly hammered at this children's event.
So she never reacted despite you calling out the name of this imaginary
I never
woman.
even got there because I was trying to play it off like, what about this person? But she never even asked him, never cared one way or the other if he had somebody on his.
So you never really got to complete the bit.
Didn't get to.
Bummer.
And I'm kind of glad. Because like I said, that's one of those where I could see, like, great, I somehow was involved in their divorce. I was a party to it.
It's too bad that it didn't work out and there wasn't
it's fun
some kind of a
pulling bits.
domestic incident at the zoo.
Wouldn't have took much to knock him over.
He was that effed up, huh?
Well, he had gone to a happy hour ahead of time, and then they serve alcohol there.
Well,
I worked at the zoo, and there were some concerts that they have there in the summer where I've never seen so many people drunk in my life.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to drink at the zoo.
Well,
They have like those adult nights. Those are a lot of fun.
Help me out, but I think didn't Pat Benatar play at the zoo for many years in a row? Am I close?
Yeah, not all. There were a couple of those hippie jam bands that Eric Cartman likes to call them, where people were just doing every drug under the sun at these things.
What, at the zoo?
Yeah.
Well, they're probably thinking there's no cops or real security here.
And they're
right?
Yeah, and then there's one band in particular, Yonder Mountain String Band. And
I'm sorry?
Yonder Mountain String Band.
Yeah, they're huge.
And there were people in the parking lot that didn't even have tickets that were just there to party. And I ended up smuggling people in for $20 a pop on my golf cart through the back gate into the show.
I imagine the thrill there would be, okay, let's go dump some acid, watch the Jan Vonders
Yonder Mountain String
and
Band.
the Tampon String Band. And then so you're wasted on drugs, and then you go look at the sloth, right?
Mm-hmm.
That does sound fun.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
It's a lot of fun.
High at the zoo, sort of comparable to being high. And looking at the stars or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nature be scary.
Beautiful. Nature does be scary.
Nature be scary, kind of a idea there. All right, for Christ's sake, what else is going on around here?
Well, you look no worse for the wear. I never would have known you almost died in an Aiken basement.
It was rough, man.
Yeah, like my mom just has like old sweaters that she wears like maybe once a year, like a Halloween sweater that's packed away. Old yearbooks that she has, just old stuff.
Oh, yeah, that brings up something I forgot I was going to ask you. I know we're similar in the way that neither one of us are very sentimental when it comes to like inanimate objects.
Yes.
Was there anything though that you thought, I haven't thought about this in a long time, or anything you came across that brought back a memory? Maybe something from your dad?
I did not go through too many picture, boxes with pictures. I didn't. That stuff I kind of left alone. It was the nonsense that I was dealing with, like a massive box of air freshener, and next to that was a massive box of belt buckles, and next to that a massive box, just random nonsense. So I didn't get around to going through any boxes that might have, tempted me to go through with what you were explaining, like, oh, wow, an old picture of us when we were 3, or, oh, look, this is my first grade yearbook, or whatever. And so I missed all those. I was able to, I grabbed a ball cap, an old John Deere ball cap of my dad's, brought that with me. That's about it. So, yeah, I'll have some stories for you next time, maybe when it's time to go through some more nostalgic items.
What'd you guys do with all of it?
Well,
just organize it and leave it in the basement, or did you move it out of there?
You're talking about like all the random
All the
stuff?
stuff,
Just
yeah.
organized it. Some of it ended up in the trash. Some of it ended up in the back of my pickup to be disposed of.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it was just a lot of random nonsense. Didn't get a chance to really go through the good stuff.
I have a family member who lets their animals, and has for years, use their basement as a bathroom.
That's messed up.
And
I've seen that before.
it's never been cleaned up.
Gross. Like, why?
Never been
Why?
cleaned up.
Nope.
Figure it out, people.
No.
You're talking about this has been going on for years.
As I'd say for sure, I'm trying to think how long they've been in the house.
You still
For sure,
go-
a decade.
You swing by there now and again, and there's still dog stacks in the.
Nobody goes down there anymore for that reason.
Wow. I mean, I've seen that before. I have, and it's bad.
Offered to help clean up. Offered to get a service to help clean up, and no,
This is a friend of yours.
it's something like that. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I guess what you just taught me is it could have been worse for me over the weekend.
Yeah, it could have been.
Could have been.
No, it's funny.
Dodging stacks of 20-year-old dog feces would have been worse.
I mean, some of it, when I saw, was just dust. That was all that was left. Just a white dust.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it turns white. Oh, God. All right. She's going to be a hell of a week. I guarantee you that. Looks like maybe we have some kind of a concert announcement coming up at 9 o'clock. We'll get to that. Like I said, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will be joining us, and we can
Maybe our
talk
purple
about
pick'em guy?
all these ball games. That's the thing. We got to figure this out. We may have to have a conversation with last week's purple pick'em qualifier, a guy by the name of Other Brad. Josh and I haven't had the time to look into this, but maybe some of yous over there in the other room know. Did that guy win some money over the weekend?
I know that he didn't win the halftime. I was looking at that. Let me check the coming
I think
up.
he had 27-17.
Well, we got to make sure of this because there were some text messages last night that led us to believe
He didn't get the halftime?
Nope, the halftime, it was 0-17, and he guessed 10-17. And the final was 23-17.
No, wait a minute. I didn't even watch the game, and I don't think it was 17-0 at halftime.
No,
it was
17-3.
like 17-9 or something. Yeah, 17-3, but it wasn't what he guessed.
Well, so throwing out a lot of numbers.
So we don't know the answer to the question.
I know that he did not win. For a fact, he did not win.
So he didn't win the halftime one?
No.
Okay, yeah, I can't remember what the halftime score was, but I know the Jets had some points. So, well, yeah, we got a text last night saying, hey, this guy could win this thing, the $100,000, the trip to the big game, and then we got a text a minute later. Nope, the Vikings kicked a field goal. That's not gonna work.
Next time, let's just say we don't know instead of doing this. Well, I think it was. Next time, we'll just go with we don't know, and we'll look into it right as we go to commercial. Okay, but he was an interesting enough guy. Other Brad when we talked to him.
Great attitude. He was fun.
If you weren't listening last Friday, Other Brad was one hell of a character. Maybe we want to call him just for the hell of it. But
I'd like to keep in touch, see how his weekend was.
Yeah.
Got a cool voice, yeah.
We will we'll sort that issue out. My God.
17-7 at the half. Thank you, brother and sister.
All right. Yeah. There you go. It's Monday morning. We appreciate you hanging with us. We got the stupid news coming up in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud. They lose control. They do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this winter. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating and Air Conditioning helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst time.
Hey, Ashley here. Get your home ready for winter. Schedule your furnace tune-up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and save $30. Have a boiler? Save $40 on your boiler tune-up. Visit standardheating.com to book and lock in your savings. Stay cozy, stay ready.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are the things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
For Christ's sake. Here's a real keeper to fire this pig up on a damn Monday morning. A real keeper. A court case, don't you know? I'm going to be telling you about a court case. Says here, now then, a doctor. It's a dude who makes a living as a doctor. I'm going to do my best to make this clear. It's kind of confusing. Maybe not for you folks, but it threw me at first. So just a little warning. Got to pay attention. The doctor guy. He was worried about the idea that once his mother checked out, that maybe he wouldn't be getting the inheritance he assumed she was going to send his way.
Well, that causes a lot of issues. A wide range of results.
It can cause some issues. Cubby ain't lying there. By God, he ain't.
Sometimes murder.
I've seen a lot of movies with that exact plot line.
Have you watched one episode of Dateline? Just one.
No, I haven't, actually. I've never watched Dateline.
Dateline covers a lot of that, Cubby?
That's right up your alley, Ashley.
I know. I forgot I was going to start watching that a while ago, and it slipped my mind.
An inheritance has led to murder. Is that how the show starts?
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay.
It's it depends on each host is a little different. Why can't I think of Keith Morrison?
Yeah.
Oh man, he's good. I could listen.
Best.
I could listen to him say anything.
Isn't he really into parkour, Keith Morrison?
No.
That's for you wrestling fans. That's right. That's John Morrison.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He used to sing for the a band, a famous band.
The
Oh,
Windows. It was the Windows.
That's Jim Morrison I was thinking of.
All right, this doctor guy. His mama, old lady, he was thinking, she ain't going to be around forever. And he started to worry that maybe the inheritance that might come his way also might not. He was worried that maybe some of that monies would end up in the bank account of his mother's long-term boyfriend. All right? Mom's got some old fart she's been dangling with for years, and doctor started to get nervous. Well, maybe the money's going to go to Dinkus, the guy that's been banging my mom all the... So he made a plan to kill the old bastard boyfriend. And it was a hell of a plan.
My goodness.
He disguised himself as a nurse and injected deadly poison into the old guy. The old-timer thought he was getting one of those at-home visit COVID booster shots. So have you followed this so far?
Yeah.
Okay. The shady prick, doctor who disguised himself as a nurse, he goes by the name of Thomas Kwan.
And it was a ridiculous disguise, by the way. Oh, so bad.
The picture that I looked at, that was his disguise?
Yeah. Didn't it look fake?
It did.
I mean, it looked like AI came up with this.
Yeah. Shady prick, Thomas Kwan. Poor old bastard. He's called Patrick O'Hara. So the friggin' poison that Kwan was pumping into the old feller's veins ended up giving Mr. O'Hara a rare and life-threatening flesh-eating disease, is how you say it.
Oh.
Flesh-eating disease. That's nice, huh? Obviously, Mr. Kwan is a very stable and reasonable individual. So Mr. Kwan, the doctor, worried about where his mother's money was going to go once she's dead. He's 53 years old, Mr. Kwan. Right now, he's in court looking at attempted murder.
I mean, he probably wasn't doing that bad for himself if he's a doctor.
I think he's doing all right.
Yeah, but
That's
when
usually
that
how it goes.
maybe his mother is that, that above the law rich.
Ah, yeah.
And when you dangle that kind of money, I don't care who you are, you dangle that kind of money in front of certain people, they go crazy. So he disguised himself. Josh was referencing the disguise a minute ago. As a nurse, a male nurse. He pasted on a wig, a beard, a mustache. Then he'd strap on a surgical mask and some glasses. And he'd be dumping shots into the old guy right in front of his own mother. She didn't suspect a damn thing. And neither one of us think much of that disguise. But yet he fooled his own mother. She might not be all there. I don't know. He even put together some kind of phony letter saying that the old man, O'Hara, needed some more of those COVID shots because of his age. He doctored up this letter. We'll send a nurse over to hook you up, kind of a thing. But it wasn't anti-COVID juice. It was nasty homemade poison. One of the trips he made over there to poison the old man, Mr. Kwan even once checked his mother's blood pressure on request. She said, well, while you're at it, could you check an old lady's blood pressure? Because I think... And he did, and she didn't recognize him then either. He's right in her face putting one of those blood pressure things on her, right?
Yeah, she must be out of it then.
Well, the old boy, Mr. O'Hara, he got sick as a damn dog, understandably. He was getting blasted with poison. He ended up spending weeks in intensive care. The sumbitch almost died. Eventually, police caught on to the scam. The trial is still going. I don't have any end results here for you on the trial. But that's pretty sick, bruh. All because Dinkus, Mr. Kwan, was afraid he wasn't going to get enough effing free money once his mother walked into the light.
Has anyone here ever experienced a family squabble about money or inheritance?
Not that I can think of. I've heard they can be some miserable situations, but I can't think of anything.
I have, and it actually shocked me. You always hear that. Oh, wait till there's a money thing, and you'll see the true nature of people. And this wasn't when my dad passed, but somebody in my family. And I thought, well, no, that's not going to happen in our family. Everybody's tight. Everybody understands. Everybody's reasonable. But it was bad, really bad, where some relationships were severed.
They're over.
And what they found out, there was really no inheritance. Everybody was fighting over what turned out to be very little.
They assumed there was some pot of gold.
Yep.
And everybody can kiss my ass. That's mine, right?
The person who's passed, his nickname was Wallet. Well, he worked his ass off. He was a blue-collar worker. He just didn't spend any money, right? He worked his ass off, worked for a long time, had a couple of pensions from his job.
Still had his communion money in that wallet?
I'm telling you, he was tight. Yeah, people call him Uncle Wallet, and they make fun of him for being tight, but he took care of his family. And, when he passed, everyone thought, there's going to be quite the windfall.
Ain't that a shame?
And there was all kinds of bickering back and forth. It ruined some relationships. It really split the family. And
still
it shocked
broken.
me. Oh, yeah.
Still broken.
And we're talking 10, 11 years ago at this point.
I got a buddy whose family owns a number of companies, extremely, extremely wealthy. And he says it's a good problem to have, but it's also very sad because the only time he sees his family is at board meetings when they're getting together to make decisions. We don't get together for the holidays. Everybody hates each other. And that's the only time I see my extended family is at board meetings.
That is so sad.
Me and my siblings will be splitting a case of beer and a carton of cigarettes.
You're right.
Case of beer, carton of cigarettes.
In this inheritance, one of my family members ended up with debt when they were bequeathed a particular item that there was a loan out on, and
really
didn't realize that at first.
That's sad. That
is too bad.
Folks can't be grown-ups when money becomes a factor.
And it kind of, pardon the pun, but it buries what you should remember somebody by, and it kind of tarnishes their death. And he was one of the greatest guys I've ever met.
There you go. That's exactly right. Uncle Donnie, do you think he wanted to see you low-life sitting here F-bombing each other over a few dollars?
He was the opposite of that.
Uncle Wallet.
I feel folks are texting in similar stories. It's kind of shocking. I'm sure there's some situations you can go, oh, yeah, the so-and-so is going to freak out about this, but shocked me.
Man, yeah. As you said, some folks are texting in with some horror stories on inheritance issues amongst families. Who's in the will, who's not, this, that.
A couple people are in a battle for it right now. Man, hope you can work it out as amicably as possible. Anytime lawyers get involved, things get worse.
Yep. Sounds tough.
Just makes it a little more stressful.
Let me ask you something, Josh. How many helpings of hair can you eat before you finally have to push yourself away from the table and say, no, thank you, I'm full?
Well, I don't know if I've ever had a whole helping, but I've certainly either consumed hair by accident or got some almost all the way down there.
This year's next adventure in our Stupid News report involves a little 9-year-old girl who ate so much of her own hairs, she had to go ahead and have surgery to remove a big fat-ass hairball that was living in her stomach.
I had one that was so far down, there was still some left. I pulled out my pancreas when I tried to remove this long hair.
A hair that was in your throat?
Oh, it was disgusting. It was like a spaghetti noodle times 3.
That's why I find it fascinating she was able to get so much, down, because there's been times where having long hair, when, there's a hair in my mouth, and I can feel it, so I go to grab it, and then next thing I know, I'm choking because it wrapped itself around that little punching bag looking thing in your throat. Yeah.
Punching bag thing.
It's a speed bag.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question for just the dudes.
Yeah.
Hey dudes. Uh-huh. No. The dudes, Dana.
Sit this one out.
Woe is me.
You ever have one hell of a night and then the next day you got a long hair wrapped around your pecker? Anyway, this stupid news story about a little girl.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
I've had not even a night and I found that before.
You unwrap it forever.
I think it was a laundry issue in this case, but yeah, I've had that happen.
What the hell is that down there? You just keep spinning it and spinning it and spinning it.
Is that mine?
What did I...
Have you ever wondered, oh God, is this attached? How did I miss this one?
What did I 69 with Cher last night or something? What happened here? Anyway.
Oh, that'd be a dream come true. If I was single.
Little kid had to have a big fat ass hairball hauled out of her stomach because she was eating it. Now, this here hair eating disorder, maybe you've heard of it. It goes by the title of Rapunzel syndrome, which is kind of clever. But this can be a real problem. This little girl is called Sophia. She began pulling her hairs out of her skull when she was about 1.5 years old. Her mother says she did it because it was soothing. She would do it as she would fall asleep. She would pull big tufts out at a time.
Oh, my gosh.
Doctors didn't know what to do at first. Mom did get the kid to stop for a few weeks. She had a cute trick. She would dump olive oil in the girl's hairdo before bedtime. Boy, I bet that made laundry a real pain in the ass. But anyway, she would dump olive oil into the kid's hairdo and then put some gloves on the kid for bedtime so she couldn't pull the hairs on out. I don't exactly know how that works. You just have to trust me.
Oh, her hair was looking really greasy, too, I bet.
Ooh.
I hate when I even get like a tiny drop of olive oil near my hair.
You have that problem?
Yeah,
How does that happen?
because of cooking and
I
like, getting
hate
it
that.
on my hands.
You guys know when olive oil is always up and around your hairdo? I hate that.
I need to get better at wiping my hands off when I'm
Sometimes
cooking.
I just don't know. Okay.
Well, Wapple, you cook all the time.
Yep.
Have you ever had olive oil in your hair?
Never.
Do you ever have
Nope.
to put your hair behind your ear because it's long?
Well, do you get it on your face or neck or?
Usually it's like flour that'll get in my hair.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that gets everywhere.
All right. You guys cook funny over there at your house, Ashley. You cook funny. Anyway, back to this olive oil and gloves gimmick to get the kid to stop pulling her hairdo out. It reminds me of one of my oldest pals was a major thumb sucker as a child. And it pissed his dad off. Get that thing out of your mouth. Constant battle with my buddy and his dad over my buddy's thumb sucking problem. And so one night the old man took a whole friggin' job site sized roll of duct tape and duct taped my buddy's hand till he had just one big silver ball at the end of his arm. You following the words that are coming out of my mouth? To try to get him to stop sucking his thumb. And my buddy said, he was a stubborn kid. He'd spend all night unwrapping that damn thing so he could deep throat his thumb all over again. He loved to suck his thumb. Dad tried everything, couldn't get him to stop. Okay, back to this kid with the hairs. The olive oil and gloves gimmick didn't work. When this little girl was 4, she threw up her first hairball. Just then, seemed like the kid had outgrown the habit for a stretch of time. Everybody stopped worrying about it so much. But then 5 years later, now the kid is 9, 5 years later, the little girl started having stomach discomfort, woke up screaming, terrible pain, and that's when doctors discovered a mass of hair in the little girl's guts. It filled her whole stomach.
Oh my gosh.
And was eating away at the lining. It was very bad. She underwent a 4.5-hour surgery to remove the hair wad, spent 10 days recovering in the hospital. So this little girl's mother is sharing this story to help raise awareness about Rapunzel syndrome.
That's sad. It's strange how something like that would start.
Mm-hmm.
Anxiety or what causes something like that?
Yeah,
I would think the olive oil might just make the hair more delicious. I'm glad maybe it worked out.
Or go down a little bit easier.
But don't you hate, though, when you get olive oil in your hair, Josh?
Happens all the time.
The people that I've known in my lifetime who had hair pulling issues, it was straight up anxiety, but, could be a number of things. Here's the deal. Oh, boy. Before I get into this next effing thing, it's a story from South Korea. Before I get into it, you need to know, or maybe some of you already know, I'd never heard of it. You need to know that soju is some kind of Korean hooch, like vodka, I believe. Okay? Did you write that down?
Yep.
S-O-J-U, soju.
Soft.
Huh?
Nothing.
I spelled something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Soju is like a Korean vodka. So here's the effing story. And this one's a little difficult to follow, too, but you did great on the first one. You did great. A dude got pulled over in his motor vehicle because the cops thought maybe the sumbitch was drunk. Apparently, once the dude pulled over, he ripped down a bottle of that soju, chugged it down. 1 minute, there was a bottle of soju. The next minute, there was no more soju because it was in the dude's belly. Just leaving Las Vegas, just ripping the bottle down. So, because he ripped down that bottle of swill, it was impossible for the cops to know if he had been drunk before he pulled over. So they couldn't give the prick a D-dub. The whole mess went to court, and the guy is off the hook. A court cleared the guy, Soju Jones, whatever his name is.
I always thought that didn't work.
Yeah.
Okay. Over here, I mean, they say, like, it's kind of a weird thing to do, right? Somebody might...
Weird and dangerous, yeah.
Like, okay, I think I know what was going on there. I thought, like, here there was different rules on that. Maybe next time our troopers in, we could ask.
Yeah, there probably is. Again, this is South Korea.
Because the idea is what? Your breath alcohol, at least, is going to be affected. Because, I just had a drink when I got out of the vehicle here. And then, obviously, down the road, you're going to be hammered.
This guy's a 60-year-old, so obviously he's got his act together. Again, he avoided the DWI because his consumption of alcohol after stopping his car made it impossible for the cops to determine if he had been intoxicated while driving. They pulled him over, remember, because they suspected he was drinking and driving. They didn't know this.
What if you could get out of every crime that way? You just do the crime that you're accused of right in front of the cop and say, I couldn't have done that before because I did it right now.
Right.
You're free to go.
Now, this effing guy sucked down an entire bottle of booze in 39 seconds.
Man.
Impressive.
When the cops watch the video, what do they call that? Body cam footage. It was 39 seconds between when he stopped his car on the shoulder of the road, and then it was 39 seconds between when he stopped his car and got out of the car. So he threw her into park, gum, 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 took down the bottle of hooch, then he stepped out of his car.
I would throw up everywhere immediately.
This guy's a pro.
Gotta be, right?
Yeah. Witnesses said, when he got out of the car, he was staggering all over the friggin' place. But that's not enough evidence to give this guy a DWI. Again, over here, this way, in the United States, I'm sure there's plenty of ways to be punished for that. But I guess in South Korea, they couldn't determine what to do with the guy. And so they just let him walk. Now, this effing donkey is not alone using this gimmick with the cops over there. It says here, many drivers have attempted to undermine the results of alcohol testing by immediately drinking large amounts is how you say it, by immediately drinking large amounts of alcohol when they are pulled over. You got a bottle in the damn, what do you call that thing to my right when I'm driving a car?
Cup holder?
Huh?
He said counsel.
Yeah, glove compartment's what I was thinking. But you're close enough. Keep a sounds like that's what they do. They keep a full bottle of hooch in the glove compartment or the center console, so when you get pulled over, just chug a lug, and the cops don't know what to do with you. I remember when we were kids, you guys probably had the same answer in your neighborhood. When you were a kid, if you ever got pulled over, let's say you had a few beers in your body, what would you do because you thought it would throw off a breathalyzer?
Put a penny in your mouth.
That's what I always heard.
That's one of them. What's the other?
Light a cigarette.
Well, for us it was throw in a massive amount of chewing tobacco.
Oh Oh, yep.
Like you started at second base for the Twins that afternoon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all did that one night. One night a buddy of ours was driving, 3-4 of us in the back of the car. Buddy gets pulled over. He got a D-dub. We were underage. The rest of us were like, okay, that sucks that Donnie got the D-dub, but we also didn't want minor consumptions. So while Donnie was getting cuffed and stuffed for his D-dub, we're still sitting in the car, right? We all threw in wads of Copenhagen the size of a fist because we thought, well, that'll ruin the breathalyzer. Cop, puts Donnie in the back of the car, comes back to the 4 or 5 of us still sitting there, and he says, spit out the Copenhagen, it doesn't friggin' work.
Oh, darn. I'd feel so stupid.
Oh, I kept mine in,
Yeah. You're like, no, I'm not wasting this.
Yeah. I'm not going to. I like that stuff.
I think you should butt chug. That'll get you out of trouble.
Yeah,
just butt chug that. No breath alcohol.
Yeah.
Or does it? Actually, you know what? I take that back. Somebody once told me that you could still get it somehow. I don't know if they were messing with me or what.
Well, the coppers have to get the buttalyzer.
Oh, do they have you blow out your butt?
Yeah, you fart into the thing.
I forgot about butt chugging. This is where you funnel alcohol into your body through your anus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yup.
And someone told me that you can still do what?
That it could somehow it gets into your body enough that it could affect the breathalyzer.
Oh, hell yeah. I can believe that. It kind of just reverses out the other end. Well, you got to be okay. I'm just going to go ahead and say this.
You really want to party.
You have to be totally out of your mind
Yes.
to butt chug alcohol. You have to be totally out of your effing mind. I'm not trying to start trouble, but I'm gonna go ahead with that statement.
It's a big stance you're taking there.
Dana, you do seem like someone who at least knows someone who's butt chugged at a party.
Yeah.
I do seem like that, but not that I can think of.
Okay.
I cannot think of a time of butt chug. I did see a friend have penetrate a watermelon once, but but I've never seen a butt chug. Just normal things like having sex with a watermelon.
Well, you idolized all those jackass characters who were constantly putting things in their urethras and their bottoms, so I'm surprised you didn't just run around town mimicking them up and down. You have a friend who had sex with a watermelon?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. Most people do, don't they?
No.
Yeah.
Maybe some sort
I just said sure because I understood what you said.
So, okay, there's a few people saying yes, that 100% can happen where if you butt chug, it can still affect your breath alcohol level. And one of the people that told me that was Butt Stuff Buff Jesus.
Buff,
oh, he
stuff,
knows.
buff.
And Pool Guy Jesus said BAC actually stands for butt alcohol content. It's not breath like everyone thinks.
I just cannot think of one reason why I would ever even consider such a thing. All right, we should all be so lucky to have this effing dode break into one of our houses. I've been to some of your homes. You could use this. In a place called Wales, a 36-year-old man broke into a lady's house and did all of her chores for her.
Oh, what a
cool.
nightmare.
Yeah.
That would be so
Don't do
delightful.
my dishes.
Damn you, sir.
I'll show you.
It happened over the summer. This incident happened over the summer, but it's just now going to trial. The woman who owned the home, she was at work when this individual broke in. He hung her laundry out to dry. He put her groceries away. He took her recycling out to the curb. He worked a little in the yard, Ski, doing this and that, kind of tidying up the yard. Then he went back into the house. He organized her fridge. He mopped the floors. He put out a bottle of wine. He cooked her dinner.
Wow.
And he left her a note that said, "Don't worry. Be happy. Go ahead. Eat up."
Yeah, I wouldn't be eating that.
No.
All right. Is it not so cool at this point, Ashley, that he left you a little note?
Yeah, because
made you
that's
dinner?
Scary.
I bet you there was.
I didn't think about the poison aspect of that. Yeah.
I was thinking more semen
Oh yeah.
in the dinner. That's what I was thinking.
You're probably right.
Yeah. Most of us dudes, we don't just have a bottle of poison at the ready, but we've got that semen
I'd take my chances with the arsenic or whatever that's in there over the other.
before you ate okay. Even cooked her dinner and left her a note that said, "Go ahead, eat up." He left after that. He wasn't there when she got home from work, so she walked into this scene.
Whoa, that would be so freaky.
Everything put away, everything clean, and friggin' dinner on the stove, and she has no effing idea who's done it. Freaked her out. She thought he was some kind of a stalker that was in love with her. It turns out that's not the case. His lawyer says he's just a goofy bastard who is undergoing a number of difficulties right now. She stayed with friends for 2 weeks. That's how freaked out she was. Once the cops caught this guy, well, they caught him when he had broken into another house. He didn't do any chores that time. I think he might have just whacked off. This guy was sentenced by a judge to damn near 2 years in jail.
He'd be a great roommate to have. Spotless in your cell there.
Yeah.
I knew a guy, nice guy. Poor guy's gone now. But, I love the guy, but he just had some strange ideas as to what friendship meant. And what I mean by that is, one day, another mutual friend of mine, and of this guy that I'm referencing, who's gone now, this mutual friend of mine comes home, opens his front door, and my God, there's someone in the house. And what is that smell? He walks into the house, and this guy that I'm referencing, who's gone now, is cooking dinner. And he's got all the silverware out, and he's got all of his cooking instruments out. He's chopping onions, and there's something in a pan, and it smells delicious. And my friend says, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I thought I'd just come over and cook you dinner. I thought it'd be the right thing to do." And this other guy says, "That's very nice, but you can't just walk into my friggin' house and start cooking." "Oh, I thought it was a nice thing." Well, yes, but you know what I mean? I mean, Josh, you're probably the best friend in my whole life. I would still be a little weirded out if I walked in my door and you're in my kitchen with an apron chopping up our dinner. I would.
Yeah,
You'd think I'd snap.
Yeah, what you can't. Just an odd idea.
Yeah, it's weird.
Very, very nice gesture. And of course, the guy meant no harm at all, but you can't just do that.
Yeah, I'm watching the show now, and they do that all the time where one person shows up at the other person's house, so they're just waiting for them inside, and everyone's like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And that's about it. But it happens constantly. And in one case, don't even know how they're getting in. I don't know if it's a bit or what's happening.
A friend going to a friend's house, they just walk in and sit there and wait for them.
Coworker / friend.
No, you don't enter my friggin' house until I've allowed you to.
And a couple of them live alone, and it's like there's no reaction whatsoever. If my shadow passes Dana in the hallway, he's a puddle.
Yeah, I am.
Dana,
I'm very jumpy.
You're the most jumpy, and you are a big dude. And you're the most jumpy person I've ever met.
Yeah, it's true.
I had a situation once where, again, these are very, very good friends of mine, but still there are boundaries in my mind, in my opinion. There are friggin' boundaries. I came home one night at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I mean, imagine what went through my mind. It's pitch black, 2 o'clock in the morning, summertime. I pull into my driveway. The only light shining on my home are the headlights of my car, and I catch the sight of two people sitting in my driveway in lawn chairs. And at first I thought, this is the beginning of a horror movie, right? It was two of my best friends who... The bars are closed. They know I have a garage full of beer. They know that I'm out. They know that I'm going to be getting home around 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. They're just sitting in my driveway drinking. "Oh, hey, we knew you'd be coming home at one point or another." That's just wrong. You don't. And
that could freak a person out.
What the hell are you doing?
That's kind of weird.
Yes, you're my friends, and yes, I trust you. I know you're not there to steal anything or anything, but You're just sitting in complete darkness on my property, drinking all of the beer out of my garage. That's just, to me, that still strikes me as really weird. And I told them so. I said, you guys look like a couple of friggin' lunatics. You can't just sit here in well, we knew you were going to be. Shut up.
This is great. So I mentioned there's a show I'm watching where people just show up at their coworker/friend's house. Love You, bye. She just knows exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's Suits.
Oh, yeah, they do.
It's so prominent on the show that she knew exactly the show I was talking about.
That's true.
Superintendent Jesus said, we used to break into our friend's house and viciously rearrange his furniture and then leave him a nice pot roast in the oven.
Good God.
I love pot roast.
Yeah.
That would be a bittersweet situation.
It really would.
Hey, I don't like the TV in that corner, but pop roast. How do you say it?
Pot roast.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
To the end zone, intercepted, Coy Parrish, and the Gophers beat USC 9 seconds away from doing that for the first time since 1955.
Best fans in the country, sell out 2 times in a row. They kept in it the whole game, stayed with us. I told you, we're the best 2 and 3 team in the country. We're on the boat, Ski-U-Mah.
Hell yeah, PJ, be a dick about it. I like that.
Yeah.
I told you, he says.
We're on the boat, Ski-U-Mah.
Get her done, PJ. He's my guy. I had a chance Saturday night. That was a cool victory for the Golden Gophers over Southern Cal on Saturday night. I knew they were going to win that game after getting boned in friggin' Michigan the prior week. So anyway, I did find myself at a little roadhouse Saturday night. Got to watch a little bit of the game. And I sat next to one of these guys, total stranger to me. At one point, the Golden Gophers fumbled the football. And this guy next to me at the bar goes, "They suck. God, Gophers suck." And he turns to me. And I said, "Hey, dude, it ain't over yet." And he goes, okay, I'm sorry. Right? 10 minutes later, they show PJ on the, what do they call that thing we were looking at, John?
Television?
Yeah. 10 minutes later, they show PJ Fleck on the television, and the guy goes, "He sucks. PJ Fleck sucks." And I turned to the guy, I said, "I like PJ." And he goes, okay, I'm sorry. And I said, "Dude, I'm not reacting one way or the other. You're entitled to your opinion." Sorry, dude. I didn't mean to start trouble. I'm sorry.
That's funny. I had a very similar reaction or thing happen over the weekend, yesterday, and it was me that was the I'm sorry guy.
What'd you do?
So watching the Vikings game, is it Stephon Gilmore, number 2, cornerback for the Vikings? I was telling my son, I'm like, does it just seem like he's kind of out of position today? He just doesn't seem like himself. I don't know. So I'm complaining about him, right?
Yeah,
because I was stressed at the end of that game. And then he makes the game-winning interception.
Right.
I'm like, all right, you know what? Maybe I was a little off about his performance today.
A little harsh.
Maybe he is the Gilmore we're used to.
You know what that's called?
It was instantaneous that happened.
That's called Martin Skula syndrome. That reminds me of when Martin Skula was playing defense here for the Man-Bear Pigs. Oh, the crowd would boo his ass. They hated Martin Skula. And then he'd score a late goal, and everyone would go, "Yeah! What a goal!"
That's exact within a heartbeat.
Forget everything that I said 4 seconds ago.
That's what happened to me.
But this guy I was sitting next to, I wasn't reacting at all to his harsh comments about Golden Gopher football or how do you call the guy again, PJ Fleck. But when I contradicted his opinion, my God, he acted as if I was coming at him with a knife. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
I don't want any trouble, bud.
You're fine, man. You're fine. We're in a public place. You can say whatever the hell you want.
We're on the boat, Ski-U-Mah.
I like when PJ acts like a dick. I dig that guy. What else? So, yeah, the Vikings got by on the skin of their ass. We're going to cover all this in greater detail when Dinkus and other Dinkus show up. Baseball playoffs. There was a gong show of a ball game last night. The Lynx lost. They're going to have a Game 5 in their playoff series. Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder coming up here shortly. Josh's News is next.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this winter. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating and Air Conditioning helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst time.
Hey, Ashley here. Get your home ready for winter. Schedule your furnace tune-up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and save $30. Have a boiler? Save $40 on your boiler tune-up. Visit standardheating.com to book and lock in your savings. Stay cozy, stay ready.
Named one of the best personal finance podcasts, the Stacking Benjamin Show with Joe and his friends makes financial literacy fun.
I thought I can just keep spending money, however, do this back-of-the-envelope math if I just cover it by making more money. The three words that make me groan the loudest that broke people say is, I deserve it. I was saying it all the time. Well, I deserve a night out. I don't have any money, but I'll take my last dollars and do a night at a restaurant.
Find out more by searching the Stacking Benjamins podcast, wherever you listen.
Half-assed Morning Show. 93X.
I think that was wild and crazy. It was very scary. 10 years old, how did he get the car?
I can tell you what I've dealt with him in the past. He is doing this strictly for fun.
There are many things you could take away from this first story, but one of them is that 10-year-olds are terrible drivers. Minneapolis police said a 10-year-old boy was arrested after stealing a car and driving recklessly near a crowded school playground, nearly hitting children playing outside. You can see this video on 93x.com. If you haven't seen it yet, it's pretty amazing.
Were the chicks watching?
I don't see any young chicks, I guess, maybe around his age.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. When you say chicks, I think older, but as you said it, I started to realize what you meant. Yeah, probably around his age. The incident happened the afternoon Thursday, September 20th. Surveillance footage showed the boy driving the stolen car back and forth on the grass behind the playground before moving onto the sidewalk just feet away from where children were playing. And sadly, this is far from the first time the 10-year-old's been accused of stealing a car. In fact, police say he's been accused at least twice before for auto theft-related crimes. He's also listed as a suspect in more than a dozen other cases, including auto theft, assault with a dangerous weapon, and robbery. His criminal history dates back to May of 2023, with about 30 records. It's unfathomable a 10-year-old boy has had this level of criminal activity without effective intervention, the Minneapolis police chief said much better yesterday, expressing deep concern over the repeated offenses. Officials pointed out the situation highlights a broader problem, referring to it as a revolving door where the same juveniles are being arrested and rearrested for crimes like auto theft and other violent offenses. Authorities stressed the need for immediate collaboration to develop both short and long-term solutions. The boy's family is cooperating with authorities and has reportedly asked for help to keep their son or anyone else from being injured or killed in the future incidents. Details about when or how the car was stolen or how long the child was driving it have not yet been released by police.
So, it sounds like his folks, are doing the best they can.
Yeah, they're up against it.
Because, my first assumption is that his folks must be different.
That would have been, that was mine as well.
Yeah.
But after watching the chief of police, again, speak way more eloquently than I did there, after watching that, it's clear he's frustrated for the family.
Okay.
Apparently, he said the mom has been doing her best, trying again and again and again.
Well.
And just needs some help.
That sucks.
A similar story out of California where the Fresno Police Department had to go to a call that a boy's mom made to pick him up Thursday morning after he took her car without asking and got into an accident. According to police, the 11-year-old driver of the SUV said a box truck hit him and then took off. But so far, police can't find any proof of the boy's story. Both cops and the kid's family arrived at the same time as the parents were already out searching for him. Looks like the boy probably won't be facing any charges, but the family's SUV is totaled. The moral of this story is 11-year-olds are terrible drivers as well.
God, get it together.
Alabama fire officials are trying to get to the bottom of a firefighter training video featuring a guy with a plunger up his butt.
Hell yeah.
The video shows a simulated medical emergency where a man's laying face down on a bathroom floor with his pants around his thighs. A plunger handle appears to protrude from the man's backside, though it's not actually lodged in him. One man, apparently an instructor, stands in the corner and films on his phone as 4 recruits enter the room. As they try and figure out how to respond to the situation, some struggle to contain their laughter. One man in the video wears a fire jacket. Another has a shirt that says Alabama Fire College. A third person, acting as a bystander, wears a fire marshal shirt and says he just really likes plungers. All firefighters in Alabama must get their certification through the Alabama Fire College. Certification courses like Recruit School have to follow curriculum approved by the Alabama Firefighters Personnel Standards and Education Commission, which they say they did not approve the plunger up the butt video.
Sounds like the boys shooting the video might have had a few beers in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly. They're having some fun.
They forgot to edit this and that.
I mean, how many times have we told stories like this? They will probably have to respond to this situation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They need to be prepared.
Why not be prepared for it?
Yeah, if I get a plunger stuck up my butt, I want to know that the first responders know exactly what to do.
I'd be pissed if I wasn't first one there. If you don't call me first, you and I got some issues.
First thing you do, Josh, is twist it.
And I'll say, hey, let's try both ends. A 46-year-old New York City police officer's been fined for carrying out a bizarre harassment campaign against a citizen who often complained about police parking. He was just tired of this guy. Officer Brandon Sullivan admitted to leaving voicemails where he pretended to be a former romantic partner, using the breathy voice, quote unquote, of a seductive woman. You be the judge.
Hi, Paul. Just calling to see how you're doing. Sorry I'm Vanderbilt, but I guess not. I tried to wave you down. Just want to let you know that I miss you. And I hope you pick up my call next time. You're still the best I ever had. I hope you still dream about me. Love you, baby boo. Bye, Paulie.
I had a hard time understanding that. Well, first off, I would fall for that.
Yeah, me too.
Was there something about you're still the best lay I ever had?
Something like that, yeah.
I would fall for that. I would think that maybe that's one of my exes.
I'd give him a chance.
Yeah.
That was just the first of 6 messages he left for Paul Vogel over 10 months.
Vogel?
In other calls, Sullivan, using his NYPD-issued phone, made strange animal noises like dolphins, followed by sheep, then seals. Hello there, podcast friend. Josh here from the morning show. I apologize, but due to some silly music licensing rules, I can't play you the seal song that I played in place of a seal sound effect. Seal the animal, not the Grammy-winning artist. If you're looking for a jam, look up Seal Crazy. That's the chorus I played right now. Anyway, I just wanted to interject, tell you how much we appreciate you listening, and apologize that we couldn't include you on the music. Have a great day, and now back to the show.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Last month, Sullivan was fined $500 after it was determined he tried to discourage a citizen from exercising their constitutional right to speak out about government actions. In addition to the fine, he was docked 60 days of leave. That's worth about $25,000. Vogel, a frequent caller to the city's 311 line to report illegally parked emergency vehicles in his Brooklyn neighborhood, feels conflicted about Sullivan's punishment. He acknowledges the money and lost vacation time seem like a lot for prank calls, but he also points out that breaching his personal information and harassing a member of the public is a serious matter. While commendable, he feels that way. What he may not know is this isn't the officer's first disciplinary issue. In 2015, he lost 30 days of leave for sending a Jewish officer text messages that included photos of the Holocaust.
Oh my gosh.
And Adolf Hitler.
That is terrible.
I don't know how you come back from that one, but apparently he did.
That's a whole different animal right there. But that just, the phone calls he was making, reminded me of junior high. Come on.
It's a little weird, yeah.
And this is a grown man doing this.
Yeah.
If I could give any advice on prank phone calls, my buddies and I were huge into it when we were kids. I think we were the best in Hennepin County. Absolutely the best. Do yourself a favor. Prank a volatile close friend. That was one of our favorite things, was to pick on someone we knew that would blow their friggin' stack. We had a lot of fun with that. So that's just a little piece of advice. I know prank phone calls are almost impossible to make anymore with caller ID and all that. But don't mess with an innocent stranger. Mess with a volatile close friend. I guarantee the results will be pleasing.
And it's not worth risking your job, right? I mean, my goodness, this guy.
Right, yeah.
Seemed like he couldn't see far enough ahead to realize this could affect his job, or I guess maybe he didn't care. Sexy, though. I'll give him that.
Yep, no doubt.
He did his best. I mean, it was somewhat believable.
It moved a little bit.
Sure.
It moved the needle. A Texas rideshare driver's definitely not getting a 5-star rating. because he smacked the tartar right off the teeth of an elderly passenger for a real dumb reason, a lack of legroom in his Uber. Caught on camera last week in Dallas, the driver picked up a couple, but instead of taking off, they sat there for a few minutes. Then out of nowhere, the driver and the passenger both get out, and that's when things took a turn. The driver straight up jabs the guy in the back of the head, hard enough to knock him to the ground. Turns out they were just trying to get to Walmart. The passenger mentioned the back seat was a little cramped, which apparently set the driver off. The driver canceled the ride, and when the couple didn't back down and said they were calling the cops, the situation exploded and the punch landed.
I cannot sit in the back seat, very small place, Suddenly hit me.
He didn't have an accent before he got hit. It knocked an accent right into him. The driver took off before police showed up, but Uber and police are investigating.
Boy, he got hit hard.
Yeah, he really did. That was a convincing accent.
He came back, sounded like he was from... I'm not afraid to tune up an old-timer, Josh.
Is that right?
I want to make that clear.
I've been tempted.
I'm
But
not afraid
I was
to
sucker punched by one, and I was tempted to retaliate.
I love that story when that old-timer sucker punched you and knocked you into next week.
I was collateral damage. I was just the closest guy to him, and I had nothing to do with the situation.
Aw, poor little Josh.
Right behind the ear, Ashley, I saw stars. I knew what the cartoons were talking about. That was a which one of y'all kicked me moment.
I love that story.
Oh, God, that hurt. And it was embarrassing. A 62-year-old man ended up stabbed in a bizarre argument over Vienna sausages at a coastal Georgia nursing home. Police were called to the nursing home last week and found the man nursing a stab wound to the chest over canned wieners. Apparently, a resident accused the other of stealing his precious mini wieners. Things escalated, and before you know it, out came a knife and suddenly sausage stabbing.
Is that the old folks' home?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they get crazy.
It's not clear if the guy who got stabbed was the one who actually stole the sausages. The injured man, however, was taken to the hospital, and as for the other resident, he was arrested.
Yeah, my old man, when he was alive and when his mother was still alive, my old man had to go over to the old folks' home where my grandmother was staying. My dad had to talk to the warden about her behavior.
She was getting angry and punching people?
She went after some lady for not finishing her dinner. So here's all these white caps, right, sitting there at the old folks' home having dinner, and some old lady sitting next to my grandmother said, well, this is disgusting. I'm not going to eat this. And my grandmother said, hey, look, you should be lucky to have a meal in front of you. There are people who don't have any. So you're going to finish your dinner. So my grandmother started talking to this other old lady as if she was, her mother. And the lady said, no, I'm not eating it. It's gross. And my grandmother ended up giving this old lady a pop-up power bomb on the damn dinner table. And my dad had to go talk to the warden.
Was he able to smooth things over?
Yeah, I mean, he said, my mom's out of her freaking mind. What do you want,
A 32-year-old Memphis man destroyed a gas pump after the station had the audacity to refuse to let him use the bathroom. Video shows the driver of a Chevy Impala pulling up to the station in a hurry. He got out angrily and started taking his frustration out on one of the pumps, smashing it to the ground, swinging at it wildly, and finally bashing it until the nozzle popped off and sprayed fuel everywhere like a Cytherea Squirt Queen video.
Oh, wow.
I had to Google that. Are you guys proud of me at all?
I am
Kind
proud.
of.
I had to Google porn stars famous for squirting.
Look at me. Look, this is the reaction I had, just mouth agape. I cannot believe that the straightest laced cat I've ever known, Cubby, just made a Cytherea Squirt reference on the radio.
And off the air, I'll show you, Nick, I text one of my most perverted buddies and said, hey, I just want to make sure I've Googled this correctly. I said, who's the porn star most known for squirting? And he texted back and said, if you don't say Cytherea, you're in trouble. So I found it. And check out her Wikipedia page. It's enlightening.
I'm a fan. I, of course, knew exactly who you were referencing. And, yes, I'm very proud of you for taking this step.
Yep.
You would have knocked it out of the park also if you would have said Jada Fire.
Oh, I don't know if I came across her name. Pardon the phrasing there. After being denied access to the bathroom, he left in a rage and threw a rock at the business.
I already forgot what the story was. To be fair. What
A guy
happened?
beat up some gas pumps because they wouldn't let him use the bathroom.
A guy beat up some gas pumps.
Yeah.
And it caused gas pumps to squirt gas
everywhere.
Like Cytherea and Jada Fire just showed up at a frat party.
I was hoping you guys.
I love it.
I was hoping you'd be proud of
I
me.
love it. I'm very proud of you. Now I got to look up Cytherea and Jada Fire real quick.
Chris Pine is the second celebrity to be swatted in the past week and a half, and it's not the first time police have even shown up on the doorstep of his California home.
911, what's the nature of your emergency?
The 44-year-old was reportedly surprised when police knocked on his door in response to a 911 call they received. They alleged that someone had been sexually assaulted at his address. Yucky. Shortly after officers arrived on the scene and spoke with Chris, they determined the call was bogus. And the fourth incident of swatting, or the act of intentionally placing a hoax emergency call to draw a strong police presence to an address, that was the fourth one at his house. Police tried to contact the caller, who they also determined doesn't live in California, but the caller was uncooperative and hung up. They're now working to determine if the same person is responsible for the additional 3 calls that they previously responded to. Pine's most recent surprise visit from law enforcement comes a little over a week after Jennifer Aniston was the target of a similar incident. Police received a concerning phone call in the middle of the night that led them to make a welfare check at her home. When police arrived, they determined the call was a false alarm. Along with Aniston, other reported victims of swatting include Justin Bieber, Rihanna, Clint Eastwood, Tom Cruise, and more.
Tom Cruise?
Even Tom Cruise.
Oh, my God.
The 60-year-old famed haunted house from Poltergeist is making a spooky comeback after a recent sale.
Not scary at all. I'm going to go down that route.
I have yet to see
Poltergeist,
it.
not scary in the least bit.
I have that on my list. It's one of those, I can't believe I've never seen it.
I've been angry at people for decades for thinking that Poltergeist is even a little bit scary.
The house is about to become the ultimate short-term rental for Poltergeist fans. A mystery investor is planning to turn the place into a chilling Airbnb, recreating the actual Poltergeist film set with every room decked out with furniture and decor straight out of the movie. So when you walk in, it feels like you've stepped onto the set. And by this time next year, guests will arrive. The property's 16,000 square feet, that is. It's complete with 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, a large swimming pool, possible ghosts, but definitely a jacuzzi. The eerie home featured front and center in the Steven Spielberg scripted classic, hit the market in August for the first time in 45 years.
You know how I'm wired, Cubby, and I'm going to go this way, too. Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. Nothing scary about it.
No.
Totally stupid.
That freaked me out when I was younger.
Yeah, when I was little, it got me a little bit. But I agree, as an adult, I kind of wonder, why was I scared of this guy?
Yeah.
He's a dork.
Uh-huh.
So Poltergeist is a good movie, though? I mean, you said
No.
it's not even a good movie.
I mean, I'll stop short there. I haven't seen it since it came out. What year did it come out? 84?
Yeah, I think so.
Haven't seen it since. I remember going to see it.
I know just the previews kind of freaked me out as a young person. I'd like to see it.
Whose birthday is it?
Well, it's Go F Yourself Jesus' birthday, 29 today.
I'm more scared of him than I am Freddy Krueger.
Well, yeah, did you hear his name?
Yeah.
He doesn't care. I hope High Rise Gamer Jesus and the fiance have a great time in Colorado this week. And I don't think we've ever received a text like this, but bless your heart, I loved it.
What is it?
401k Jesus wants to encourage all people in their 20s to join their company's 401k. Isn't that nice? 401k Jesus, he's looking out for all of us.
Thank you.
It comes off shady.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't say go with me with your 401k. He just says in general, contribute to your 401k.
Shady.
There's one for you, and that's 93X News.
Randy Shaver.
That is the gentleman who showed me his butthole.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Quick throw. Intercepted. Van Ginkel down the sideline. Another pick 6 for Andrew Van Ginkel. Rodgers, an old friend, gets him. Harrison Smith, in his 21st game against Rodgers, comes up with a huge third down sack. Touchdown. Vikings lead 16-0. Rodgers, quick throw. It's intercepted. Stephon Gilmore gets the Jets again.
So much respect for Flo. He is leading that defense at a world-class level. That was what that moment was.
How do you say the guy's name again? Van what?
Ginkel.
Van Ginkel.
Van Ginkel.
Ginkel.
That's the name he's going with.
Yeah. Yep. Love that guy.
Nice Dutch boy from down the street.
Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder. Randy, what day is it?
Today is Monday.
See, they say you're not officially retired until you can no longer recognize what day it is.
Well, I only know it's that day because I had to get up early this morning.
What
So I know it's a weekday.
Don't be taking it out on us.
Damn it.
And he was monitoring his 35 fantasy football teams yesterday.
That's true.
That's true.
That helps.
It wears me out.
What'd you say about Van Ginkel there, Brad Ryder?
I just said the nice Dutch boy from down the street.
Oh,
Van-
right.
Van Ginkel.
He's an Iowegian or a Wisconsin
Well, no,
kid?
his
Or?
last name Van. That gives it away. He's a Dutch kid.
Okay. But isn't he from the neighborhood somewheres?
Mm-hmm.
Where's he from? We covered this and I forgot.
He went to South Dakota to college, I believe.
No, someone said he went to Wisconsin.
Did he? He went to South Dakota, Iowa, Western, and Wisconsin.
Yes.
Okay.
Ended up at Wisconsin, which means I can't cheer for the guy.
Oh, he's awesome. He's awesome.
He went to, did you not hear what I just said? He went to Wisconsin.
I think if you saw him on Hard Knocks, you'd like him.
I'm not watching Hard Knocks.
He's great.
He's one of us now.
I don't know. I can't get over it. He was a Badger. That's a stain that I can't wash off. You know what I mean?
You bring Janelle Klein in studio. She's a Badger.
Don't you ever compare Janelle Klein to some dude named Van Ginkel. Janelle Klein is Come on, what? Janelle Klein? She's a gift from God.
She's a Badger.
She gets a pass.
So is your
she,
son,
Josh?
though, right? Didn't your son go to Wisconsin?
He certainly did.
Oh, no. Right, Josh, Janelle's different.
Well, she's above the law in our eyes, yeah. She can do no wrong.
The Vikings held on by the skin of their ass to beat the gas bag and the rest of the New York Jets yesterday. Silly-ass 8:30 start time. The final was 23-17. They played in England.
They did.
Yep.
But the bag, he had the ball in his hands with a chance to beat the Vikings in the final minute, didn't he?
He did. He certainly did.
But he threw a pick. What did he throw, 3 of them?
He did.
Yep.
He's lost a step or two. That is for sure.
Oh, hell yeah.
Seemed that
He
way.
can still sling it. At times, he can still sling it, but he's lost a step or two.
That whole offensive scheme they were throwing out there, I question a little bit. You threw the ball like 50 plus times?
The New York Jets threw the ball 50 times?
Well, they couldn't run the ball. That was the problem.
Well,
they
could commit to it a little bit more, though.
Well,
maybe.
Kind of hard to commit to something when you know it's not going to work. I mean, they just could not run the football. And this is not, I mean, they've struggled running the ball against other teams, too. Their running game is just not very good.
All right, so I didn't see the game. I was busy with doing family stuff. I didn't see the game. But the word I'm getting is that our guy Sam Darnold didn't look terribly sharp yesterday.
Yeah.
I think he was hurt a little bit when Jones went out because that really, you could tell the difference in the offense after Aaron Jones got hurt. Not that Ty Chandler can't run the ball, but you take away a little bit of the pass-catching option out of the backfield when Jones goes out of the game.
Now, after the bye week, supposedly, they're going to get an opportunity to get Hawkinson back, and that's going to make, I think, Sam Darnold even better because now you've had a quality receiver to Addison and Jefferson, and Jones's injury doesn't look serious. He should be fine after the bye week as well. So that's a pretty good sign. When your 5 offensive linemen are still healthy, 5 weeks in, and your offensive big name threats are healthy, that's pretty good.
But I think that's the key to the season is you keep those 5 guys up front healthy.
They've done a nice job.
Then I think this could be sustained. But.
In yesterday's ball game, Karen Rodgers became the 9th quarterback in NFL history to throw for 60,000 yards in a career.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Who were the other quarterbacks who had thrown for 60,000 yards?
Well, Tom Brady.
That's one.
Peyton Manning.
Yes.
Drew Brees.
Right. Brad Ryder, haven't heard a word out of you yet.
He kind of took mine. I can't think of it.
I'll give you a hint.
What about
Jesus Christ? That's my hint. My hint is Jesus Christ.
I watched a couple minutes of the Rams-Packers game
guess,
yesterday. Isn't Stafford very close? I think.
I have no idea. All I have are the guys who have hit 60,000 yards, and my hint is our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Okay, that was a hint for Phillip Rivers.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, I'll just...
Dan Marino?
Dan Marino. My esteemed colleague, Dan Marino. Yes, you're right. I'll give you the rest. Brent.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Ashley said that.
I said that.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Ashley said it.
I'm sorry, I said.
You should be.
Sorry.
Matt Ryan Ski.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Well, he played a long time.
And Ben
Mm.
Roethlisberger.
Oh, sure.
Big Ben.
All right. So, Vikings fans, I don't have to tell you this because you already know it. The announcers are always against us.
Always.
This is quite the hubbub.
So are the referees.
Yes, the referees and the announcers. Brad, you know it well.
Yep.
Commissioner, too.
Yeah.
Many Vikings fans, and I didn't see any of the game, many Vikings fans didn't like the fact that an announcer by the name of Rich Eisen was calling the Jets-Vikings game, and Eisen is a known Jets fan.
Okay. Well,
who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah, I didn't really notice.
It's an NFL Network game. He calls the games when they're overseas, when they do these games. He'll probably stay there all week and call the Jacksonville game on Sunday.
People don't get bent out of shape when Tony Romo calls a Cowboys game.
Yeah, who cares?
Come on, I love this stuff.
I don't know. I did you guys think he sounded like a homer? I didn't
No,
really.
not at all.
I don't pay attention to him.
He doesn't do play-by-play often, and so he's not a polished play-by-play guy that you're probably used to listening to.
You could tell that.
This is one of my favorite cliche bitches for NFL fans. I love this. The announcers, they didn't give us enough credit. They're kissing the other team's ass. Yeah, so also, folks didn't like Kurt Warner sitting there either.
This looks different.
I hope they like Jamie Erdahl because she's from Minnesota.
They didn't say anything about Jamie Erdahl.
That doesn't count, apparently.
Kurt Warner looks different.
Yeah, he
lost a bunch of weight.
The last time I saw him, yeah.
So Vikings fans didn't like this Eisen guy, didn't like Kurt Warner. They claimed that they were kissing Karen Rodgers' ass, which I've heard that a million times. That was something that a lot of Vikings fans hated. It was one of the things they hated about watching Brent Favre is that the announcers were always kissing his ass.
Nobody complains when Kevin Harlan does Minnesota games, and he's a former Timberwolves announcer.
Right.
I know this stuff is ridiculous, but I love it. I love how petty and silly it is.
I think when they talk a lot about those guys, it's really out of respect for the career that they've had. So it's not necessarily that they're kissing their butt. It's just that there's a lot to talk about when you have a guy that's got a career like that. So
You know, if you want to hear the hometown call, there's a way to do that.
yeah, just turn the radio on.
That's right.
God, Paul Allen will give you the film.
He's definitely on one side.
He's on one side, and it's not even. Oh my gosh! Sure.
One Twitter person, or whatever you want to call these individuals, social media dorks, one individual said, "It's really nice of the NFL Network to let the Jets have a home broadcast today."
Oh my God.
Like that really matters.
Like he's impacting the game.
Right.
I mean, who cares?
I know, it's silly, but it's a lot of laughs.
Here's what I learned from yesterday, though. I learned that the NFC North, 5 weeks in, is at least right now the toughest division in the NFL.
It's funny you said that because I had that written down as a note. I was going to say the same thing.
It is the toughest division, and whoever gets out of this division as the champion will have definitely earned it. And there's a very good chance, after they're done beating each other up, there's a very good chance that two other teams out of this division, if they keep playing the way they are and they're healthy, will make the postseason. Because the Lions had the weekend off, and they're 3-1. The Packers won again. The Bears looked really good. Of course, they played Carolina, but they looked really good. And I just think that you look around the NFC, guess what? The 49ers are just not as good as we thought they were.
Guess
right?
not. Guess not.
I think they will be at some point, like they have been the last few years.
I think the injury to McCaffrey has really slowed them down, and their defense is just not as good as it's been in the past. I think the rest of the NFC is kind of a toss-up other than Washington. I actually think Washington's for real.
That's my friggin' team.
I
The
think
Commodores are my team. Yep.
I think they are for
Yep, I'm jumping on board.
real.
Ever since I watched that Monday night game a couple weeks ago, I'm a Commodores guy.
Jaden Daniels, I mean, they're for real. They've put together a really good defense.
They put 30-some points on the board yesterday,
They're
right?
off. Yeah, Jaden Daniels is he's lights out.
They got to be the highest scoring team in the league or up there.
I think they are.
They are. 155 points.
Right.
Hell
so
yeah,
far.
let's go Commodores.
So, I mean,
yeah, you got the Lions. I think it's just taken the Lions a little while to come out of their hangover. You know what I mean?
Well, they're 3-1. I mean,
yeah,
not bad.
Bears are Super Bowl bound. Who else is in the division?
Green Bay.
Yeah,
They looked good yesterday again.
Yeah, you're right. He probably could say it's the toughest division in the whole stinking league.
Every team in the division's over. I mean, it's 5 games in, but everybody's over 500.
everybody has a winning record. No other division has that in football right
But don't F with the Commodores.
I'm telling you.
You don't got to tell me, Dick. They look outstanding.
They do, so far.
All right.
So far.
I got to go back to yesterday's broadcast of the Vikings game with Rich Eisen and Kurt Warner. Vikings fans didn't like it. They said it was slighted towards the Jets and the announcers are against us and all that same old
Kurt
effing.
Warner's from Iowa, though. He's one of us, kind of.
He's from Cedar Rapids, even.
Right.
Well.
He's one of me.
Iowegians are not one of us, okay?
Well, whoa.
And Janelle Klein is the only friggin' Badger that gets a pass in this building.
I think Van Ginkel's even from Iowa, too.
I think he is.
Not one of us.
Yeah, Rock Valley, Iowa.
Iowegians
Rock Valley.
are not. Did you ever pick up any chicks in Rock Valley?
Oh, my gosh. More than I could count.
All you needed was a decent card trick? What was the...
Yeah,
all right.
exactly. A magic trick.
I got to go back to Vikings fans not liking the announcing yesterday because it was favored towards the New York Jets. Okay. I didn't see it. You guys helped me out. Slinging Trash Jesus claims there was a line from the game yesterday. What's the name of the guy on the Vikings with the last name of Ham? What's his...
CJ.
Did he score a touchdown?
He did.
Okay, according to Slinging Trash Jesus, the announcer, well, it must have been Rich Eisen, when TJ Ham scored a touchdown, he said, London is serving ham for dinner tonight.
He did a lot of that, actually.
That's stupid.
He made a lot of Oasis puns and things like that.
That's stupid. Now I understand why. If there is a reason to not like Rich Eisen, it's that line right there.
Yeah, there was a few of those.
That does it.
London is serving ham for dinner tonight. Come on.
I imagine it's hard, though.
Now, I love this gimmick, too. We'll move on from this. Trust me, we will. Some Vikings fans weren't complaining about the favoritism that Rich Eisen and Kurt Warner were showing to the New York Jets. In their mind, there was favoritism there. They didn't like, and this just drives me crazy, and this topic has been trendy for the last couple of years because of Al Michaels. The announcers were too low energy. What do you want? Like some wacky politician, car salesman? What are you, a little kid that needs to be entertained? I have no problem with the announcer calling the game just, here's a pass down the middle, touchdown, 6-0. I have no problem with that. Why these days does it have to be, whoa, it's a touchdown? What's the matter with you? Who's with me on that?
I'm with you on that.
I agree. I don't need the yelling.
I actually saw somebody on Twitter, I don't know if they were kidding or not, complaining about Bob Costas' call as the Yankees took the lead in their playoff game the other day. And I watched and listened to the call. I thought it was great. And I'm like, why is that? Why do you think that was low energy? He just made the perfect call.
I think in the last 20 years or so, there's been this trend where announcers just wet their pants at the sight of anything that now people expect that the announcers should be part of their entertainment. They're just there to call the game. This isn't a circus. This isn't a friggin' infomercial. It's just,
well,
if they have some interesting information and some inside scoops and they're following the game and calling, let them off the hook.
If you want to hear low energy, listen to the Hall of Famer Pat Summerall. I mean,
oh God, yes,
Pat Summerall. I mean, those guys.
Keith Jackson.
Keith Jackson was.
He was a little more wacky,
a little bit,
a little more. But I mean, those guys were very low key. They left that, I guess, the energy part to whoever was sitting next to him, who did the color commentary. John Madden was the first to really.
Madden was the wackadoodle guy, and Summerall with 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line.
That's right.
That was it.
The play-by-play guy did not do that, and Madden was the first color commentator actually to really be colorful in that regard.
And some people yes, go ahead.
You hear a lot more of that in the NBA right now, and I think that's kind of where it started. The guy that does the play-by-play, who I think is really good, he does the bang when they hit the three-point shot. I can't think of it. I can't think of his name.
Michael Breen is his last name.
I love him.
Yeah.
I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, he does Knicks games during the regular season, and then he goes on to...
I think he's so good, but I think that's kind of where people get that from, is that the NBA, and Kevin Harlan's a little bit like that for sure, right? Mm-hmm. They get that more from but the NBA is different because every play can be something that's dramatic. Can be a big 3-point shot from the logo or a monster slam off a rebound or whatever. The NFL's not quite like that. Every play.
Al Michaels recently addressed exactly what you're talking about.
I don't scream the game at you. I don't holler the game at you. And when people go back and they say, oh, Pat Summerall was one of the greatest of all time. And he was. Remember how Pat did the game? 2nd and 5. He didn't blow you out.
Right.
It's just there's a different point of view now from fans where they're expecting this circus sideshow from the announcers. I guess I'm just saying it's not necessary in my book, and I think there are some who are natural at it and some who just sound silly doing it, but they feel like they have to keep up with the current,
Some people like this guy that I'm about to mention, but I can't stand him for that reason. I don't like Gus Johnson.
Me neither.
Because he does that. He yells at you.
A lot of people here are blaming this on Gus Johnson. This happened way before Gus Johnson became a thing.
But he does it now, and I can't stand it.
At any rate.
Drive to deep left field, way back.
There you go. See, this is what we need.
Gone.
Yes.
Crowd went wild.
Wow. I didn't realize there were that many people at Apple Valley that day.
Wow.
I'm just tired of that beef about the announcers. Oh, it's too low energy. You know what? Do some before the game starts. Hire a couple of comics to come to your house and do some coke.
Jeez.
So the Vikings are 5-0.
Yes, and the Chiefs could be 5-0 after tonight. Likely will be.
So,
like Randy said, when Vikings start playing more division games, they will lose a few games because the division is really good.
Well, first of all, I didn't say that they'll lose a few games.
Well, I said
the
it.
division. I said the division. They'll beat each other up.
Yeah.
Right now, I think the Vikings are the best team in the division. I don't think they're.
Well, they are.
I don't think there's any question.
I could see them losing to Detroit once and Chicago once, and
they ain't losing to Chicago.
So
they're not losing to Chicago.
Does 5-0 mean that a playoff berth is a guarantee? No.
No, but the odds are way better.
Teams that win their first 5 games of the regular season usually make the playoff, but twice, dating back to 2000+3, the Vikings have blown a strong start. The Vikings went 5-0 to start the 20-16 season. They went 6-0 to start the 2000-3 season. In both instances, they failed to even get a wild card berth.
I hope that doesn't happen again.
It's very possible.
My gosh, that'd be so frustrating.
We go 5-7 the rest of the way they're in.
Since 1990, 6 times teams have started 5-0 and missed the playoffs, and 2 of those teams were Vikings teams that I just mentioned.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah!
So I guess, what's that line from Pulp Fiction? Let's not fall down and start blanking each other's blanks just yet. Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
1994. Harvey Keitel, John Travolta. Go ahead, Josh, with the full cast. Give us the full cast of what's the other guy's name?
Well, you got Uma
Samuel
Thurman,
Jackson.
You got Bruce Willis. You got Tim Roth, Christopher Walken.
I would rather be 5-0 than be
in the middle of giving the yes, Randy Shape.
I said I would rather be 5-0 than be the Browns, the Bengals, the Titans, the Jaguars, the Panthers, the Rams, who are all sitting at 1-4 or in that area. The mountain to climb to even get to 500 is just brutal. So 5-0, Vikings fans, we'll take it. We'll sit here and enjoy it. And the bye comes at a good time. It gives them a chance to get healthy again with Aaron Jones, and we'll see what happens.
Friggin' Jaguars, man. I've had enough. We talked earlier about how much fun it was to watch the Golden Gopher football program beat
awesome.
Southern California on Saturday night. The number 11 team in the country, Southern California. Yeah. And I like the audio from, I don't know if you still have that hanging around, PJ Fleck kind of got uppity after the game, and I love it.
Best fans in the country. Sell out 2 times in a row. They kept in it the whole game, stayed with us. I told you, we're the best 2 and 3 team in the country. We're on the boat, Ski-U-Mah, and
Jesus.
I love him.
we're on the boat, Ski-U-Mah.
Hell yeah, PJ. Be a dick. I love it.
Barry steps to the plate with an opportunity to drive in another run. He drove in 2 last inning in the first inning.
I can't listen to that.
That's so good, though.
So good.
I don't think it's bad.
But well, never mind.
You stepped in at the last second.
I said it in the last second. In my defense, I had parents sitting all around me. It wasn't like I was alone somewhere.
Oh, you should have ripped some kids
really?
then.
Oh, yeah. No, literally, they're sitting right next to me while I'm doing it. So,
Oh, that's awkward.
yeah. Tell me about it.
Golden Gopher football defeated Southern Cal. Oh, my damn. It was a last-second touchdown. They had to review it, of course. Oh, he might not have ruined the moment. But anyway.
I tell you what, to me, I thought it was a little bit of a gutsy call, but it turned out to be the best call. But, man, it was close, too. It was close that he got in, but it was close.
Yeah, she was a close call.
Yeah.
Came back and scored, 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. That was great. They play at the University of California at Los Angeles this coming Saturday
First
night.
time in the Rose Bowl since the 60s, right?
The last time the Gophers played the Bruins was 1978. In the Rose Bowl, I have no idea how long it's been since. I'm guessing.
And UCLA's struggling a little bit. So, I watched them a little bit early in the year, and they look good, but they haven't been playing very well the last few weeks. So they got a chance out there, too.
So, Nick, without looking, who's number 1 in the Big Ten right now in football?
I have no idea.
Take a guess.
Ohio State.
I got a guess for you without looking.
I only follow the Golden Gophers. I have no idea what anyone else is doing.
Can I take a guess?
The Indiana Hoosiers.
Oh, I was going to say Indiana. Go ahead.
Well, that's great.
The best team in the Big Ten right now at 3-0 in the conference and 6-0 overall.
Well, that's outstanding. Good for them. I love to hear a school other than Ohio State, Michigan. That's great.
We're on the boat, Ski-U-Mah.
Hell yeah.
Got to hold on to that.
I have a friend who's a pretend Alabama football fan, so I was pretty excited when they were beaten Saturday by whoever Vanderbilt is.
I have a couple of Twitter mutuals that just straight up deleted their Twitter because they're so upset with the Alabama loss.
And whoever who does the PA or whatever, the game entertainment at Vanderbilt, pulled a really clever one at the end of the game. I don't know if you guys saw that, but as soon as the game was over with, fans are storming the field. They threw up on the big scoreboard there. Apparently, Nick Saban, who does some color or does some studio work. Did you see this?
No, I did not.
He said before the game on ESPN, he said the one place in the SEC that's not hard to play at is Vanderbilt. And they played that up on the big screen at the when the game was over.
Oh, that's nice.
That was one of the biggest upsets in college football in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alabama
because Vanderbilt's program,
they're never very good.
They're never very good.
No, there was some stats in here about how badly Alabama had beaten them over the last 10, 15 years and beat them by a few points, beat the number one team in the country. Hell, the kids, the students tore down the goalpost, carried it down the street, and then threw it into a river.
Was it like 2.5 miles?
They took it down Broadway.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then they recovered it out of the river.
Did they really?
Yeah, they took it out of the river, yeah.
It's the first time Vanderbilt has ever beaten a top-ranked program. So they had reason to go bananas.
Yes, they certainly did.
I thought it was a little silly that the U of M kids ran on the field on Saturday night.
Well, you know what?
They're rowing the boat.
Yeah, let them have fun.
Yeah.
It's just silly. Row the boat! Since when do you storm the field? Oh, who'd we beat? Oh, the 11th best team? Let's go crazy out on
Yeah, but you know what, though?
If they're not alone, it happens all the time.
I will
I'm
say
just
this,
saying
though,
it's kind of
Nick.
silly.
I would say this, though, Nick. If it was, I don't know. I'll use an example. If it was Indiana at 11, or if it was somebody else from the Big Ten that we're used to at 11, probably wouldn't have done it. But it was USC.
Right.
It was USC.
Yeah, USC used to be a big deal.
But they still are in people's minds. And so I think that's why
Let
people
PJ
got
be a dick about it.
supercharged.
Everyone else, just stay in your seat.
Row the boat, Ski-U-Mah!
Now, if you're a young person,
That guy's got energy.
if you're a young person and you want all the social media dorks to pay attention to you, just claim you'll eat dog feces if your favorite college football team loses. This is the new popular bit. We've discussed it a couple times. I'm not going to spend any time on this because it's just stupid, attention-starved type stuff. The latest is a Michigan fan that said he'd eat dog poop if they lost to Washington, and then they lost to Washington, and now he's refusing to return to social media.
No way.
I have a bounty of it. If he needs any, I can help him out.
Oh, you could.
I'm
Dog
your guy.
feces?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got a couple of big
I'm
dogs.
not sure if I'm a Michigan fan, I would have made that guarantee this year. They're
Yeah,
not
no
very
kidding.
good. They're not as good.
Now you want to talk about a team that's not that good. Columbia High School in Huntsville, Alabama. Their football team made history over the weekend. They lost a football game to someone called Decatur High School. So, again, it's Columbia High School in Huntsville, Alabama. Their loss here a couple nights ago was their 87th consecutive loss, and that's a national record. They haven't won a game in 10 years.
Wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Haven't won a high school football game in 10 years.
My gosh.
Things went a little sideways at Dodger Stadium last night.
How about Profar did?
I couldn't make out a word you said.
I'm sorry. Jurickson Profar when he made the catch in left field.
Oh, yeah.
That was fabulous.
And that's what started all the static between Dodgers fans and the Padres. Now, the Padres, this is game 2 of their divisional series against the Dodgers. Massive rivalry, obviously.
Yeah.
The Padres hit 6 dongs in that ball game last night. But sometime after that catch by Profar, Dodger fans were throwing garbage and baseballs at Padres players on the field. The game had to be delayed. Bob Casey had to get on the PA and tell everyone to settle down.
Yep.
The Padres manager, a guy by the name of Mike Schilt, looked like he wanted to go up into the stands and fight the crowd. Am I the only one who saw this happen?
No.
Yeah, no, I saw it too.
Yeah, I saw it.
This got ugly, and I loved it.
Yes.
They just destroyed the Dodgers last night. What's his nuts, the hot shot with the gambling problem? Ohtani went 0 for 4, struck out. So this is tomorrow night. They'll continue this series, and this is going to be the one to watch.
It's not quite Giants and Dodgers.
But it's getting there.
But it's getting there, yeah.
Now, Jackson Merrill is this young kid on the Padres.
He's really good.
He's excellent. He hit a home run also last night. And I like his comments after the game. This has the potential to be some all-timer type stuff. after the game, he said the Bears been poked for a while, in reference, I think, to the Dodgers and their fans disrespecting the Padres. And the Bears been poked for a while. We just finally got the firepower. We finally got the team to take it to them. I dig that friggin' statement right there.
Yeah, they also, with getting Tatis back, got healthy at the right time with that starting lineup. But Jackson Merrill's had a really good year, an all-star year, really.
Mm-hmm.
And the Padres they've got the pitching, too. People kind of underestimate their team in totality, but their pitching staff is really good, too.
The top guys especially, and in a short series, that's really all you need is those guys.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
I didn't see the Phillies and Mets, but that series is now tied at 1 win apiece also. Nick Castellanos had a big ninth-inning single to win the game. It was a walk-off type of a deal.
Yeah, but they came back in the 8th inning to get back in that ball game. I mean, this series is going to be close all the way. I mean, these two teams are pretty even. So
tonight, you get Tigers, Guardians, Royals, Yankees.
Yep. Go Tigers, go Royals.
Our Central Division needs to play better today.
What's his nuts? Thad Levine is leaving his gig as general manager of the Twins. We found that out on Friday after we got off the air.
Yep.
Any hearts broken?
Not really.
No.
Nope.
Josh, he said, the time is right for me to pursue my next enriching professional challenge.
Oh, use that line, Josh. When your time
I'm going to write
is
that
right.
down, yeah.
That sounds like pretty important stuff right there.
At first, I thought that was some Thad news, but now I'm not so sure. It sounds like he's got something on the horizon.
He also likened it, I thought this was weird, to he felt like he was Mary Poppins. There's that in that quote, too, if you can find it.
I'm not...
Like Mary Poppins?
I don't know Mary Poppins references well enough to recognize... What did he say, Brad Ryder? You have to look that up yourself.
Try to find it again.
Mary Poppins. I can't wait to...
Something about like the medicine go down, spoonful of sugar medicine?
Yeah, he compared himself to Mary Poppins.
The kids know how to clean up their rooms now. And
Yeah,
take their medicine.
that was it.
So you guys know a thing or two about Mary Poppins.
Oh, I love
what's her name again?
You're thinking of David Pumpkin.
Yeah. Any questions?
Mary Poppins. You didn't watch that as a kid?
I remember...
Wapple found it. He said something about the kids know how to clean their rooms now, so I'm kind of like Mary Poppins. I'm not needed as much or something. It was just weird.
I know my mother and my sister like to watch it. I don't think I never saw it. Mary Poppins? Never saw it.
OMG. She's great.
All right, so this guy's not going to be the GM of the Twins anymore. Thad Levine is the name. Okay. All right. Had some good times here. You know, they won some games, but I watched a Wolves preseason game on Friday night.
Ooh.
It was awesome. I turned on the television and thought, there's no way I could ever make it through a preseason game. Bunch of JV guys. Everybody played. Nas played. Mike Conley Jr. didn't play. Julius Randle didn't play, but Nas was out there. The kid who punched a wall helped me. McDaniel. Everybody was out there. It was fun. It was almost all the starters, regulars.
Ant didn't play, did he?
No.
No.
He was on the sideline wearing sunglasses indoors.
Yep.
Cool.
But a good majority of my favorite Wolves played, and it was the first positive preseason experience I've ever had in my life.
You know, I was actually going to text you.
And the Lakers had a lot of their regular guys out there, too.
They sure did.
Yeah.
I was going to text you, like jokingly say, so are you sitting down with some friends watching the game? Because I know you don't like preseason stuff, but you watched it with the Wolves.
The friggin' wife.
She wanted to watch it?
Yeah. She said it starts at 9:30. I said, I'm not watching preseason. It's going to be a bunch of guys that aren't going to make the friggin' team. Then we switched it over, and there was Nas hanging from the rim. I said, oh, hell yeah, let's watch this.
Mike Conley Jr.'s birthday this week. We should get him something.
Was that also the game where LeBron and his son played for the first time?
Well, LeBron didn't. The senior didn't play. The kid played.
Yes.
Okay, but they did play on the same court, though, did they?
I don't know. I'm one of the few Americans who's not masturbating to that.
Well, LeBron didn't even dress. He wasn't even.
Okay, but they must have yesterday.
Randy, I don't care if they did yesterday.
I thought I heard they did at some point over the weekend.
They did.
They will in the regular season, and everyone's going to orgasm, and it's going to be...
I don't think the kid's going to make the final roster.
He's been pretty bad
to start the season.
Yeah, I saw him play Friday night. He's not a good basketball player.
No.
He's just not very good at basketball.
They will call him up at some point during the season to make that happen, but he won't make the roster out of training camp.
All right.
That's my call.
I'm cool with that, Brad Ryder. Connecticut Sun beat the Lynx last night, so that series is tied at 2 wins apiece. They're going to have a deciding Game 5 by tomorrow night here at Target Center. And the Lynx, if they win, would be
go
going
with a championship.
Going back to the finals for the first time in, I don't know, what would it be? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I don't know how many. What's 2017? How many years ago was that?
7. You're
years.
close.
Yeah.
They already have one team waiting on them, and that's the New York Liberties. So, and that series has been volatile, so maybe someone will get punched in the friggin' mouth. Listen to this scam. God. Rich get richer. Spike Lee, Billy Crystal, and Jack Nicholson are going to be recognized at the Basketball Hall of Fame for their loyalty. Well, damn, if you give me courtside seats, I'll show up every game, too. Yeah. Isn't it nice how loyal these guys are? Jack Nicholson, Spike Lee, and Billy Crystal.
Yeah, but they're kind of synonymous with those teams.
Yes, they are, but they don't belong in the Hall of Fame. Give me courtside seats. I'll be there every game. I'll show up. If I'm dying, I'll be sitting there by the...
You know who needs to go in for the Timberwolves is Program Man.
Oh, Program Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
He got his own bobblehead, didn't he?
He did. Yes, he needs to go in.
I remember Program Man.
Yes.
He was committed to that bit. That's for sure.
I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I like Spike Lee and Billy Crystal and Jack Nicholson. They don't need their friggin' mugs in the Basketball Hall of Fame because they were gifted courtside seats 65 years ago and showed up.
You're so bitter.
Well, you don't wish.
I think it's fun. I think it's fine. It's who cares?
I do. I want to sit courtside.
Oh my gosh. I want this. I want that.
That's all I'm about, aren't I, Randy?
Ski-U-Mah!
Me.
Oh my God.
See, you're a guy who's had that privilege before, so you
I
don't.
have not. I've never sat courtside in my life.
You get all kinds of friggin' things that normal people don't get.
Randy is a Hall of Famer, though. He's in the Broadcast Hall of Fame.
Preferential treatment. You've been sucking on that from day one.
Oh my God.
So that kind of thing doesn't bother you.
Oh my God. The world's against you.
Doesn't the Pigs, don't they start playing real hockey here?
I think so this week,
Thursday.
right?
I think Thursday.
For Christ's sake. Did you hear they got a new rescue dog?
Yeah.
No way.
How come my dog can't be a rescue dog?
Oh my God.
That lives with the pigs.
Is it another lab?
How are the announcers going to be for the Wild this year? Are they going to be for us?
Friggin' announcers are always against us.
Even the home guys are always against. Oh, man.
Pigs start the regular season on Thursday, and they got a new rescue dog. And his name is, don't tell me because I got it here, Rookie.
Cute name.
Oh, that's cute. That was our
puppy.
dog's name.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What was the impetus to that?
Ours, because it was my wife and mine's first dog that we had together. Obviously, he's no longer with us, but yeah.
All right, so they got a 4-month-old lab mix from, again, it's from this Coco's Heart Dog Rescue, and the gimmick is they train the dog through the year to eventually become a service dog.
Don't look at him, Ashley.
No, I was going to say on Instagram, they say that they call him a Ski-U-Mah star. Oh, it's cute.
Did you look at him?
Yeah, he's adorable.
Oh, I thought you were going to melt. All right, you can
melty.
handle it better than I thought.
Does this mean we're getting Marcus Foligno on the radio?
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
Hasn't been confirmed yet, but that's the plan.
Yeah.
I think we're right there.
Good.
He'll give us a call if he knows what's good for him.
Yeah. Awesome.
Rookie will be raised to become a service dog and permanently placed with a veteran with PTSD as a battle buddy to help guide them through the difficult days in life, it says
That's a tremendous program.
Yeah, that's so awesome that
That's
they do
tremendous.
this. It's incredible.
So this is the 7th time the Pigs have adopted a dog from Coco's Heart Dog Rescue. The others were Breezer, Hobie, Selly, Brooksy, D's Nuts, Hattie, and Dino.
D's Nuts was not part of that.
I thought they had a rescue dog named D's Nuts.
Yeah, you can't prove that it wasn't.
You fell for that.
Randy's probably got to get Randy's probably got to get going. He's probably got a phone call coming in from Billy Crystal here in the next couple of minutes.
Well, it's funny you say that, but Spike Lee is.
You guys are going to Perkins together.
I don't know why you don't side with me on beefs like that, Randy Shaver, because you're the kind of guy that probably could hook me up. Brad Ryder, you're the kind of guy that could hook me up.
Brad Ryder,
I have.
than me.
Never hooked me up with courtside.
Oh my God!
There's some limits. I mean,
there are
I'm
limits.
Sure Brad hooked you up many times,
and that's exactly where I'm going. There are limits for a guy like me, is what he didn't say out loud, Josh. For a guy like me.
You got pretty good seats.
Yeah.
They weren't courtside, but they were not nosebleed seats.
You know what, Brad? He's never satisfied.
No, I know.
Never satisfied.
You're a great friend, Brad Ryder, and I love it.
I did actually, Randy will remember this. I got Randy and his family a suite one time, too.
Yes, he did.
You see? Here we go.
No. Yeah.
Here we friggin' go.
That was very nice.
No,
Yeah.
Brad Ryder, of course, you have always been very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Gracious.
Gracious. Handsome. The word I was going for was, I still can't come up with
Generous?
it. Generous, yes.
my
Thank
God.
you, Ashley.
Brad has the word written
Seductive.
down right in front of him. Oh my God!
I did sit, not like mid-court side where the Jack Nicholson types sit, but I did sit very front row under the basket.
Sure.
This was before you, Brad Ryder, but that was a really fun night. For obvious reasons, sitting that close to the action. But they were playing the Los Angeles Lakers, and that was the night where, for no reason, when the game was over, Kobe Bryant came over and shook my hand. He happened to be in the general area when the final horn blew, and he walked over and he shook my hand. And I said, hey, good game, Kobe. I have no idea why he did that. Maybe he mistook me for somebody else. And if he did, that was a common theme that night. I've told you this before. My buddy Dane, who does look a hell of a lot like Michael Olowokandi, former NBA star and former Timberwolf Michael Olowokandi.
Is he 6'10"?
No, but we were seated. Dane was sitting next to me. We were right by the Lakers bench on that end of the court. Phil Jackson stared at Dane for the first 10 minutes of the basketball game. He did not watch his own team play. He was staring at Dane, and we're both convinced that he was trying to figure out whether or not Dane was Michael Olowokandi.
You and I sat courtside once together.
Oh, that's right. We were squeezed in next to the Wolves bench.
And remember one of the bench guys offered us candy?
Gatorade gum.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gatorade gum.
I sat at the scorer's table, obviously, a lot because I had to, but I will tell you, where you sat under the basket is a better seat than sitting courtside because you get to hear all of the conversation at the free throw line.
Yeah, there was a lot of cussing.
We got to sit right next to the bench. That was cool. Do you remember anything else about that night out of curiosity?
No.
Not one thing.
No.
Maybe not an infamous email you received just earlier that day?
Okay, now I remember.
Oh, no.
That was the same day that one of our coworkers sent me a video of him masturbating.
That was a rough night for you.
Slideshow, I should say. Slideshow. All right, we got to get going. But it was a great start to what I'm sure is going to be a wonderful week. Thank you, Brad Ryder and Randy Shaver.
Yep.
We'll talk to you tomorrow. We got to take a break, and we'll be back in no time on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this winter. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating and Air Conditioning helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst time.
Hey, Ashley here. Get your home ready for winter. Schedule your furnace tune-up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and save $30. Have a boiler? Save $40 on your boiler tune-up. Visit standardheating.com to book and lock in your savings. Stay cozy, stay ready.
Check out the podcast that inspired Taylor Sheridan's latest series, Landman,
There's a stretch of road in an oil-rich region of West Texas. This region of West Texas, known as the Permian Basin, is in the midst of the biggest oil boom in history. This is a story of roughnecks, billionaire wildcatters, and wannabe dreamers. My name is Christian Wallace. From Texas Monthly and Imperative Entertainment, this is Boomtown.
Boomtown, wherever you listen.
They want to glorify the fact that they're criminals. It's dumb. These guys are dumb. They deserve to be tossed under the jail just for being dumb.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Before we went live on the air, my headphones fell right off of my head. It's a hell of a deal. It's Monday. It's 93X Rock. It's early in the morning. Which, again, is a direct quote that Ric Flair made at this radio station 25 years ago. Flair said it. I can't forget it.
Wasn't he with Mean Gene, too?
I believe on that day he was by himself.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would love to meet Mean Gene
back
in the day.
Yeah, the man is dead. But I believe he was on his own when he made that.
Today'd be gross and sad, I think, a combination.
To Mean Gene?
Yeah.
You guys remember this about Ric Flair, seeing him cut promos for so many years. You know how he'd be ripping through a promo and then he'd get stuck and throw in something just because he needed to keep talking?
Yes.
That's how it worked out when he was here. He said, good morning, it's the Nature Boy. At the time, the 14-time world heavyweight champion. It's 93X Rock. It's early in the morning. He got stuck, but he made it work. Stay tuned for a special type of announcement coming up at 9 a.m. I'll give you a hint. It's a special type of an announcement. Coming up at 9 a.m., Josh.
I'm looking forward to it. I wonder what it could be.
All right, hip young people.
Yeah, that's me.
And Josh.
What?
Even though Cubby is closing in on 50 years old, he knows all the cool trends and whatnot. And that's because he made me a godson 10 or 12 years ago. So you know all this stuff, internet stuff. That is you, Dana. You know all the hip internet stuff. Wapple, Ashley, you guys are very good at that kind of stuff. Here we go. Call them out for me whenever you get the wind in your lungs. The top Halloween costumes for 20-24. Go.
Hawk to a Girl.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Hawk to a Girl is on the list.
Ray Gun.
All of this is very pop culture-y, very social media-y, so I know you guys will nail this. Although there's a few in here, I don't have any idea what I'm talking about. Okay, you said Hawk to a Girl. You said Ray Gun.
Ray
yes.
Gun.
Yes.
Breakdancing lady?
That's Ray Gun.
That's Ray
Oh,
Gun.
that is
who
Ray
Gun.
Gun?
Okay,
Oh.
Ashley, you've been eliminated from the contest.
Moo Dang.
Yes.
Oh.
The screaming, biting, slippery baby hippopotamus that everyone fell in love with on the godless internet a week or so ago. Yes, Moo Dang.
If it goes like previous years, David S. Pumpkins.
Yes.
Yep.
So far, you're batting
He's
1,000.
usually on the list.
That Beetlejuice is in there.
No!
Really?
That surprises me.
That surprises me, too. I would have guessed for sure Beetlejuice.
Give yourself a minute to think. We got all the time in the world.
Trying to think of some other viral videos from this year.
Nothing's coming to my mind.
Think about...
I'm trying to think of like movies, too.
Think about people you see on television constantly.
Oh, how about Taylor Swift and what's his name? Travis Kelce.
And the other one.
Jason.
And
Patrick
yes.
Mahomes?
Yeah, those guys. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like the wife.
All right.
What? Sydney Sweeney? Is she on that list? Everyone loves her.
No! The top stupid, most popular, and predictable Halloween costumes for the year 20-24.
What about the sandworm from Dune? Are you serious?
No way.
Oh.
What about the Joker?
No!
Oh, another good one, Dana.
Explain to me the sandworm from Dune.
It's just a really long tubular vagina.
Yeah, basically.
Yep. Nailed it.
I've seen one of those. I have. We were in, I think it was Wyndham. But anyway.
Oh, here's some good ones from the brother and sister.
Go ahead.
Some of the presidential candidates.
No.
Yeah,
like a
that's what I
Donald
was
Trump.
thinking.
No.
No, really. That surprises me, too.
And you're allowed to get help from the listeners if you're going to read through some text.
Yeah, I'm just checking right
I'll
now.
allow that. As
Wendy Adams from the list.
No, who's Wendy Adams?
Wednesday?
Oh, Wednesday?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Wendy Adams is somebody I went to college with. got to second base. Yeah, no, Wednesday Addams.
No, she sucks. She missed it. She missed the list. Didn't make her. You want me to go ahead?
Yeah, lay some on
do
us.
it.
Are you out of gas?
I can't think of anything.
We haven't named any sexy ones yet.
There's no sexiness on this list.
Oh, it can't be.
There
right.
really isn't. There really isn't.
I mean,
I guess
Haktua
with
girl
with
would be
the
the
exception of
closest.
that stupid Haktua girl. No, it's all more quirky, social media-y. Okay. Help me, if you can. Some kind of morbidly obese Kermit the Frog?
What in the world?
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, here's a couple more from the list.
Feel free to look that up if you like, but they mentioned some morbidly obese Kermit the Frog character. Yes, Josh.
Deadpool or Wolverine. Those are
No!
great. Those were great guesses.
I love shutting you guys down when you're wrong.
I can't find anything about the obese Kermit.
I bet there's other answers or other lists that would be different.
Of course there would be.
That had.
I don't know where I got this, but this is they're claiming these are the most popular. Okay, help me out again if you can. Someone by the name of Anna Delvey from Dancing with the Stars, where she's dancing with a bedazzled ankle monitor.
Oh.
Anyone here ever have to wear an ankle monitor?
No. Nope.
Known a couple folks, but never.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Ankle monitor? Well, not really, because you're just in your own home. Who's going to see it?
Well,
you know?
I knew a couple people that they were allowed to leave for work. And
Was
stuff.
it the couple people that worked here? Because those are the ones I know.
There was one here, and then there's one when I worked in the restaurant industry.
That makes sense.
All right, as we continue on through the stupid Halloween costumes for the year 2024, most of it very predictable stuff, but some others I'm completely lost, but that's normal for me. Do you know what it means to be the Costco guys, the big one, the little one, or a hybrid of the two?
You know what? Sadly, I do. And last week, I was watching this video, a video of them on Twitter, and I told Dana, I said I would punch these people in the face. They really irritate me.
So it's a meme or something from social media that we would need to see to understand?
Yeah, they do viral videos. Honestly, Nick, you would hate these people with a burning passion.
Okay. More so than the Kelseys and Patrick Mahomes, you think?
I would say pretty close.
More so than the people who made the Iron Claw, the movie The Iron Claw?
No.
Pesto the Penguin.
Not familiar.
No.
Good enough.
Who is that?
Okay. I'm trying, but I really have no idea what I'm saying. Brat, B-R-A-T, the vibe or the actual color?
Brat
Summer.
Brat?
Brat Summer. So it's it's some singer released an album or a song, and it's supposed to be all about I don't know, it being a brat summer. So the colors are neon green and black.
Okay.
Hey, I'm 99% Irish. I can make an Irish joke, can't I?
I love Irish
think
jokes.
so,
By all
yes.
means.
Am I okay to say that if it's disparaging against Irish people?
I don't know the rules anymore, but you're a grown man.
I'll keep it to myself
All right.
then. But let me just say, if your phone number ends with 5022, that is an excellent joke that I've never heard before.
Oh, that is a good one.
You're reading it?
Yeah.
Go ahead, say it.
I'm looking forward.
But I removed myself from any liability.
Oh, that is good.
If Cubby's nervous, then I'm nervous.
Yep.
Nobody read the friggin' joke. All right, the next, I should say, popular Halloween costume for this year, help me if you can, the unknown from the Glasgow Willy Wonka disaster.
Nope.
Fair enough. Young Sheldon?
Oh, he's so popular?
I don't know.
That kind of surprises me.
I've never seen any kind of Sheldon.
I guess they are coming off with a spin-off about his brother and sister's life or something.
But some of these costumes you'd have to explain to everybody.
Those are the worst types.
It doesn't seem like these would be popular costumes.
Does anyone know what it means to be Madam Web?
Was she a superhero or what? Something like that.
Yeah, is she the female version of Spider-Man?
I have no idea. Okay, the female version of Spider-Man.
It's like a Netflix show.
And then finally, a character called Dogpool. Not Deadpool,
Oh, my
but
God.
Dogpool. Oh, I
That's
guess you
to dress up your dog.
Oh, you dress up your dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's a dog costume.
Because there's a gross little, deformed dog that's dressed up in, a Deadpool.
With the huge tongue.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen that too.
A gross
Actually-
little deformed dog.
Yeah, I think it's the dog that won like ugliest dog in the world or something too. That's funny that you mentioned that though, because me and my boyfriend were talking about like dressing up for Halloween and all that, and I said we should all just do Deadpool, like us and the 3 dogs, and then like every time someone comes in, like, oh yeah, here's our other dog also dressed as Deadpool. Oh, and our other dog as Deadpool.
Never saw it.
It was good.
I want to see the new one.
So there you go.
But I don't want to spend $25 to rent it. I'll wait.
Yeah, I did it.
Like Cubby said, there are probably differing versions of what are expected to be the top Halloween costumes for this year. This is just one that I found on some website and wanted to know how well you would do. Well, you guys did all right. You did all right. Can I tell again the story of the most tasteless Halloween costume I ever laid eyes on in public? Josh is old enough to remember this. In May of 1996, one of the most horrible things happened, and that was that friggin' Value Jet airplane crash. That sumbitch fell from the sky 30,000 feet straight down into the swamps of Florida, and it was just so frightening and awful. That was in May in 1996. In October of 96, I'm at a friggin' Halloween party at a bar, and a dude walks in, and at first I couldn't make out what I was seeing. But he's dressed as a pilot, he's covered in fake blood, and there's a fake alligator attached to him. And when I got a little closer, he had a little tag on his shirt that said Value Jet.
Yeah, I don't see the humor in
that. And the crowd did not know what to do with him.
Pretty bad. I've seen some ones similar to that.
The crowd did not know what to do with this guy.
Yeah, there's a couple that are just awful I've seen.
And they're just doing it to get a reaction. Look how edgy I am.
I think you're pretty edgy.
Oh,
you were speaking for them.
All right, so here we...
I'll try anything 4 times Jesus has a great idea for a Halloween costume. See if you can guess who this would be.
Okay.
Here we go. Fleet Farm hoodie. Basketball shorts. Although can barely dribble a basketball in, carrying a Chipotle burrito.
Oh, that would be cute.
That's my guy.
That's me.
That's you,
about.
son.
I'm honored.
All right, so here we are in October. We still got to get through Halloween, for Christ's sake. But we're already seeing some end-of-the-year lists, which usually comes a little closer to Christmas and New Year's, where they'll say the most popular this, and that. Well, I've got one here in front of me already. Well, first off, do you guys know what it means to get on Google? And I believe I understand what I'm saying here. You go on Google and you type in, "Is it weird?" and then you ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just see what Google suggests, because then it means other people have searched that. It's kind of funny at times.
Other people on your computer?
No, just in general.
Really?
Yeah. It recommends, a lot of other people, sometimes like in your area, they'll search this.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is one of the first things that come up is it weird to like your cousin? Whoa.
Yeah, what do they mean by that?
Let's see it. Is it?
I want to hear
What did they
Josh's
say?
answer to that question.
Well, I have a second cousin that
That's close
confuses
enough.
me.
Oh my gosh, it says, well, it's not necessarily weird. What?
Tell us about how hot this second cousin was.
Oh my God, one of the hottest women I've ever seen. It's my dad's cousin, and she much younger. I mean, much younger than my dad. Probably,
Right.
I don't know, at this point. So I was like, when I only met her once, Iowa lady. I think I was maybe 12, and she must have been 19 or 20. I was infatuated until someone said that was my cousin, technically.
That's a
The infatuation only dimmed just a concerning amount, just a little bit.
That's a tough spot to be in love and know that it's a relative. Some folks can just blow right past that. You know that, right?
Yeah, some people see through, or
Yeah.
I can power through that, they say.
So, really, honestly, I'm sorry, but you know how completely naive I am to any technology created beyond 1981. When I type in Google, "Is it weird to," it'll fill in things that people all over the world have?
Well, it's usually more localized.
Localized.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm interested in doing this. So here are the top "Is it weird" questions from the year 2024. It's not going to hold us for very long. It's not wildly interesting, but I thought maybe we could go somewheres with it because we're all talented broadcast professionals. One is, well, a couple of us are talented.
I was putting myself in that
Rod,
sound.
is it weird to go to a bar alone? Is
No.
something that people asked Google this year. Of course it's not.
I don't think it's weird to go to establishments by yourself, like movies or going out to dinner or something like that.
No, I don't think it's weird.
There are people whose anxieties, I think is maybe the word, gets the better of them. I know a couple of guys that they just won't do it. They feel uncomfortable. They feel like everyone's going to be looking at them.
Yeah.
So they always want to wait to know that someone is there waiting for them.
Yeah, I'm kind of that way.
Are
like,
you?
I can go to like sit at the bar top, but like sitting by yourself at a table, that's kind of weird to me. I feel weirded out.
Bring back some bad memories from high school or something.
I don't know why.
She'll be here any second, I swear.
And it's like whenever I see someone eating like that, I feel bad for them.
Okay,
Like,
I get that. I always do feel bad, Wapple, and then I think to myself, well, I do the same thing. Like, and they shouldn't feel bad for me. I'm just chilling.
As I sit there paying for about 8 people at dinner, I look at them and there's a tear in my eye thinking they're doing something right.
Dude, right.
All right, well, is it weird to eat alone at a restaurant also made the top 5 is it weird questions that were asked to Google in the year 2024. Okay. Is it weird to walk into a bar alone? Is it weird to eat at a restaurant alone? I think most of us are just fine with it, but there, like I said, there are some people who just, they feel uncomfortable, they feel anxious, they feel like an outcast of some sort. Again, and there's 2 others in here that are very similar. Is it weird to go to a concert alone? Is it weird to go to the movies alone? One of the best times I ever had was watching a movie all by myself.
I like to do that as well.
And I'm not talking about I was seated alone and there were groups of people I was the only live human being in the theater.
Oh, that happened to me once.
It's called a true solo.
It's called a what?
A true solo.
And the movie was called, well, it's more of a documentary. It was called Malibu's Most Wanted.
Nice.
And
what?
I
And
enjoyed-
it wasn't packed?
Yeah, they didn't sell the place out.
Well, maybe if it was 7 or 9 o'clock at night, but this was a situation where I showed up for a bar gig 4 hours early.
Oh.
I was supposed to be there at 7, but someone here in the radio station said, no, it's an afternoon thing. You got to be there at 3. So I walked into the bar and they said, what the hell are you doing here? Oh, it's not till 7. So I needed to find something to do to kill. And it wasn't close to home. I was like near an hour out of town. All right, I got to find something to do. So I went to the friggin' matinee showing of Malibu's Most Wanted. It was me and the dude spinning the video behind me. That was it. I loved it. Okay. So none of this stuff is, outrageous, except where is the last one? Did I cover everything?
Movies, restaurant. Oh, yeah, you got everything.
I did.
Oh, no. Number 2 you didn't do.
Oh, yes, you're right. Is it weird to talk to yourself? Yes, talk to yourself.
I do if I'm admonishing myself. Like, nice one, Bitney. That was stupid. I might say something out loud.
Do you chew yourself out?
I do.
Chew yourself a good one?
Yeah, that was awesome. Way to go, dumbass. So, yeah, I'll give myself a talking to when I think I need it.
Talk to myself a little bit. I don't think I do much of that. I just don't think I do. What about the rest of you? Talk to yourself?
I probably would talk to myself a whole lot more if my dogs weren't around.
You don't want them to know you're...
I'm sorry? What are your dogs?
You're afraid they're going to overhear what you say?
Yeah, no.
They're going to snitch on you?
I talk to my dogs. And I think if I didn't have
everyone
dogs,
talks to
I
their
would
dog.
just sit and talk to myself. Because it's basically like you're talking to yourself because there's no way... I mean, they're not going to reply to you. They don't care.
They understand some words.
Yeah, like...
There's like 3 words.
Outside or WALK. I'm spelling those so I don't piss anybody in the listening off.
TREAT.
Yeah.
Half-assed morning show.
Come out to play on 93X.
Yeah, we're about to get her done here on the program. Thanks for dialing in this Monday morning. Be back tomorrow at 5:40. We were talking Halloween costumes, some of the costumes that are expected to be very popular this year. And it was kind of an irritating list. The Kelseys, the friggin' Hock-Tua girl. I'm sorry, referee Rob Page. I know you're in love with the friggin' Hock-Tua girl, but I've had enough. He texted in and said, "Oh, you're still talking trash about my Pookie, huh?" I told him I don't want to hurt his feelings, but I've just had enough.
My Pookie.
The Kelseys, the Hawk-Tua girl, the slippery hippo baby from the internet, whatever, all that stuff. One of the costumes that they expect to be popular this year for Halloween was Presto the baby penguin. We mentioned
Pesto or whatever?
Pesto, whatever. We mentioned him, right?
Dude, so cute.
People texted in and said, "You got to see this sumbitch. It'll change your life." Pesto the baby penguin.
Yeah, you got to check it out. He's so fluffy.
I like the words you use.
You want to hear about some other Halloween costumes real quick? And I know nothing about what I'm about to bring up. I hope it's not like wildly controversial. I hope I don't offend anybody because I don't know what I'm talking. A listener says he dressed up as Kevin C. Cucumber. Anyone know what that means?
No.
All right, fair enough. One of our listeners this year, they're doing, oh no.
What?
A family theme.
Oh, that's fun. My wife and I talked about doing something like that, but I'm never going to admit that on the radio.
No, you're not going to do a family theme.
As far as you know, I am not going to do a family
What did you
theme.
discuss?
Well, we just that. That was it. Maybe we should do a
You
combo.
and her, or also include my godson?
No, he'd never do that with
No.
us.
Oh, that'd be so
As a matter of fact, he doesn't want to trick or treat this year. I'm trying to talk him into it.
What?
Trying to talk him into it.
I don't think he should go either. So you're talking more of a couple's theme than you and the wife.
Yeah, just something for two.
Don't do that. But I got to hear what you were considering.
Well, we hadn't really come up with anything yet. She's been wanting to do a couple's one forever. And
Al and Peg Bundy.
I said, as long as it's sexy, I'll consider it. I want a sexy something.
Kevin C. Cucumber he's just like a person from SpongeBob.
So I was
no
wondering,
worries
is he
there.
actually a sea cucumber?
Yeah, it looks like it, yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
I missed
SpongeBob's
that. It does
confusing.
say sea cucumber.
Yeah.
I thought that was a misprint or something. I thought it was just Kevin the Cucumber. Or Kevin C. Anyway, SpongeBob SquarePants. This dude says he went as Kevin C. Cucumber, and there was only one person at the party who could recognize who he was. But that's all right.
I
That's
don't
all right.
think I would know right away. Like, as soon as I saw a picture of him, I remember being like, oh, I hated that guy. He was annoying. But I have no idea why or what his whole deal was.
I think that's okay if it's kind of a mystery.
Well, I think, sometimes someone explains it to you and then you realize the brilliance. I mean,
Yes.
it sucks that
Yes.
people didn't get it right away, but when you see it, it's perfect.
Here's this friggin' family theme I heard about. Dude says his wife and kids, oh God, are dressing up as 4 different versions of Marty McFly.
Oh, yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
That's fun.
I was Marty McFly one year.
All right, so more anxiety than... I'd like to see a picture of that. More anxiety than Hair Jesus texted in a suggestion for me and my wife's costume.
Okay.
Well, I wanted to be the Hawk-Tua girl, but he said maybe she could be the Hawk-Tua girl, and then I'll just be the thing she spits on.
That'd be awesome.
God help us all.
She never did say what we were spitting on, but yeah, maybe I'll be whatever that is.
And he's already got Halloween parties planned?
We're working on it, yeah.
Oh, you're going to maybe have one.
For my that's what my son's birthday's right there. And so he wants to do that instead of trick or treat.
He'd be okay with his folks hosting a Halloween party for all his friends?
Well, we wouldn't be anywhere. He wouldn't allow us near it. I'm assuming they'd just be down in the basement with a couple of decorations and some Papa Murphy's or something.
That's how that works. Yep. My parents used to do that for me. And then, we'd either be in the basement or in the backyard.
Until he'd be yelling at us to bring him Gatorades or something.
You think they'd sneak some beer in or anything?
No.
No beer?
Well, there's one kid maybe. But I don't think the rest of them.
I'll bring the beer.
Okay, Aunt Ashley can bring some beer.
Oh, man, when we were in high school, someone had a big Halloween party on Halloween night. And it was such a crowded house party that me and my pal were standing out in the front yard, having a Steve Weiser, because it was just so out of control inside. We needed a breather. But it was Halloween night. And so every once in a while, some kids would walk up, and usually they were with their parents, and the parents would kind of go, oh, no, we're not going here, right? Because it was obvious there was a high school keg party. But my buddy and I are standing there in the front yard, and here comes this little kid, and he kind of standing and looking up at us, and he cracks open his pillowcase full of candy, expecting the two of us, had candy. My buddy put a can of Busch Light in there. And the kid looked totally confused and walked away. I can only imagine when he dumped that out on the floor when he got back to the house. Who the hell gave you a can of BLD?
If I could bring this back to my couple's costume, a great idea from Barsaw Jesus, if my wife does go as the Hawk Tuah girl, I just wear a T-shirt that says, "That thing."
Oh, there you go.
That thing. Don't do anything. Please don't do anything.
I doubt we'll do anything.
God, I love you so much. I just don't want to see you go down that path.
I wasn't even going to bring it. I brought it up because it's likely not going to happen. If it does happen, I won't say a freaking word.
Check this out, sheeple. Tom Segura is on his Come Together tour, and he's doing a show Friday, April 18th at XL Energy Center. Tickets are on sale Friday at 10 a.m. We here on the high-powered half-ass morning show will have tickets to get you in all week.
It's great.
If you cool. If you want, you're familiar with this guy?
Oh, I'm a huge fan.
Very funny.
It would be
he's
so
a
cool
popular
to
dude.
see him. He's friends with like Bert Kreischer and stuff. We've had him on before.
We've had Tom Segura on the program
We
before.
sure have.
Jesus Christ. For pre-sale details, check out 93x.com. Tom Segura coming to town April 18th at XL Energy Center. And as I mentioned, tickets will go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. We're prepared to dump the first pair on you before we get the hell out of here, aren't we, Waffle?
Yeah, right now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, text HOG, H-O-G, 651-989-9393 for a chance to win the first pair of Tom Segura tickets. That's going to be Friday, April 18th at XL Energy Center.
The Half-Ass Morning Show.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Thank you. I'm sorry to Progressive Insurance, but I want to make sure we recognize a few folks this morning. Happy belated birthday to 72-year-old Tool fan Jesus, who is now 73-year-old Tool fan Jesus.
That's too old.
Happy birthday to Santa Jesus. Ho, ho, hope it's a great one. And happy birthday to Miss Melissa Jesus from It Can Only Be Jared Jesus. Now we can go to Progressive.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93X.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Hey, Ashley here. Get your home ready for winter. Schedule your furnace tune-up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning and save $30. Have a boiler? Save $40 on your boiler tune-up. Visit standardheating.com to book and lock in your savings. Stay cozy, stay ready.